A very pleasant good evening from Westwood High School, from Brimhall Field. Kevin Derryberry alongside James Poovey. You're watching Red Mountain football on Red Mountain TV, on the Red Mountain Football channel on YouTube. A glorious Arizona night for football. Red Mountain fresh off a 45-21 thrashing of the Mesa Jackrabbits last week, ensuring them the East Valley Region title for the second consecutive year. And tonight, James, they take on the Warriors from Westwood with a record of 5-4. They're 2-2 in the East Valley Region. Head coach Kyle Ide, in his third season, just has to take the kids that come onto this campus that want to play tackle football, works with these kids, does the very best he can, and he's got a competitive football team, and they're over 500 this year. Yeah,
they're doing a great job this year. Coach Kyle Ide, 5-4, as you mentioned, not pushovers whatsoever this year are the Westwood Warriors. They've come ready to play here tonight, and Red Mountain will have to make sure and not overlook them in this final regular season game before we enter that second season.
For Mike Peterson and the Mountain Lions, they have been besieged by injuries the last couple of weeks, and who hasn't been besieged by injuries when you look to game number 10 on the schedule. Through 9 games, 7-2. That's a fantastic record. 4-0 in the East Valley region. Unbeaten again. That's 9 consecutive wins in the East Valley region dating back to last year. So this team plays well within this division, but they need to take care of business tonight. Not a trap game of any sorts, but it's a game you must win on your schedule and finish the slate with a record of 8-2 and see where the chips fall as the postseason dominoes are set to fall tomorrow morning at Famous Dave's, I believe.
Yeah, Famous Dave's right on the corner here in Mesa, 10 a.m. I believe Jose Garcia and Mr. Quintine and the boys will be getting that going. So we'll be watching that tomorrow morning. Red Mountain definitely want to get the win here tonight, secure your spot in the playoffs, and not have any mishaps. They've come into this football game, as you mentioned, on a roll. Good quarterback play. Darren Smith has been outstanding for this team. They've had a stable of running backs all season long, doing a great job, and the defense is always strong underneath defensive coordinator Kyle Ender. So Red Mountain should come in here and take care of business tonight, but as you mentioned, they cannot overlook this Westwood Warrior team.
The Mountain Lions enter with a number 10 ranking in the Power Points, in the AIA Power Points. Get great news. Back to practice this week is the talented tailback Ty McElroy. Back in the fold. And what does that do to this offense? Well, it gives this offense another dynamic playmaker. Deontay Elliott out again this week. He should be back to practice next week. He should be back in uniform next week wherever Red Mountain plays in the second season. But to get T-Mac back on the football field, whatever role he has tonight, it's just good to have him back in uniform and on the football field.
Yeah, it's great news that he's healthy once again, and he will get a number of carries here tonight. Talking with offensive coordinator Chris Andriotis before the contest, it looks like Georgie Ramirez will get the start at tailback. He will be spelled by number 45, Jarquell Garner. And then, as we mentioned, Ty McElroy back on the field tonight for Red Mountain. And he'll get some carries, loosen up his shoulder pads here as we get ready to enter the postseason.
The Westwood Warriors have taken the field here at Brimhall Field on the campus of Westwood High in Mesa, Arizona. The captains out on the field for Red Mountain. They're lined up at the 50-yard line. All 4 of them seniors. Garrett Strail, the team captain, Francisco Salcedo, Calemres Peebles, and Francis Kumi. In fact, James, that's the same group of captains that were at the coin toss last week at home on senior night, and what a senior night it was.
Yeah, an outstanding performance last week against Mesa. Putting up a ton of yardage, going up and down the football field was the offense for Red Mountain, and really a statement game for them as they take care of the Jackrabbits at home in the final regular season contest out at Red Mountain High School.
You mentioned Coach Enders at the top of the program, James. Coach Enders' defense allowed 18 rushing yards to the Jackrabbits last week, and that's a game that saw a lot of different player combinations, a lot of different player personnel sets with the seniors getting involved in last week's game. But the other stat that was very telling, third down, Red Mountain had a lot of difficulty getting off the field on third down against the Basha Bears. Since that point, they have been excellent on third down. Last week, no different. 1 of 12 for the Jackrabbits, 8% on third down. Red Mountain's defense is getting off the field at the right time this season.
They are. They are making critical plays at critical moments in the ball game and taking advantage. Let's talk about the kicking game for a second. Connor Gardner is always putting his defense in great field position, and so far this season they've been able to take advantage of that good field position, capitalize, be able to blitz a little bit more, and they've really taken it to their opposing offenses.
The captains are out on the field. We mentioned the Red Mountain captains, the captains for the Westwood Warriors, none other than their standout tailback and two-way player, Manny Collier. He'll play wide receiver. He'll carry the ball out of the backfield tonight, and he'll also play some free safety. Manny Collier is one to watch for the Westwood Warriors. Also, another captain, number 40, Rayvon Williamson. He's a big boy. He plays on both sides of the football. And then number 61, an offensive lineman, 6'4", 280, Richard Antone, is a captain for the Westwood Warriors. And they turn their back here on the campus of Westwood High on that emblazoned logo with a big W. And their second captain here, or their fourth, if you will, number 17, Jeremiah Stainer. He's their quarterback. We'll see an awful lot of him for Westwood, wearing their home black uniforms trimmed in blue and orange. And for the Mountain Lions, wearing their road whites with their cardinal pants. And their numbers are silver, outlined in cardinal red. We are set to begin play here from Westwood High in just a moment. A big ball game in the East Valley region, and a lot of action going on around the state too. And a big one out as Chandler will take on Hamilton. Of course, we heard the news, Spencer Rattler out for the remainder of the year for a violation of team rules for the Pinnacle Pioneers. So things are interesting now in the 6A conference.
Yeah, things are tightening up as we get ready to enter the postseason. Next Friday night will be the first round of games, Friday, November 2nd. As we mentioned earlier, the chips will fall tomorrow morning. We'll see who everybody is playing and where they'll be playing, so it should be interesting. And the race is very tight at the top of the 6A conference.
The return team tonight for Mike Peterson, it looks like it's Ramses Rivera on the far sideline around the hash mark on the 5-yard line, and it looks to be number 5, Shaq Daniels, to the near hash mark. And for Westwood, it will be their place kicker, and that's number 5. And it's high, it's deep. This is Gonzalez with the kick, taken there by Shaq Daniels. Angles across the 10 to the 15 to the 20, and out across the 20 to the 25-yard line. We'll call it the 26. And he's brought down right there.
Paul Moreno on the stop there for the Westwood Warriors, 6 foot, 165-pound senior, doing a nice job there on this special teams unit for the Warriors.
So Darren Smith will open things up for the offense at quarterback, and why not? He led the team to 45 points last week, a career-high 4 touchdown passes for him as a member of the Mountain Lions. It'll begin this contest in an empty set. Kalim Reese People, as we'll start this football game on the outside. Zach Molina in the slot. And on the far side, it looks like it is Ramses Rivera back in the starting lineup as Molina goes in motion. Smith summons Molina. High snap, pass complete outside by Rivera. And Rivera goes down the sideline. He breaks the tackle at the 50. And he's still on his feet around the 40-yard line to the 30. And he's finally dragged down on the 25-yard line. Entering Westwood territory is Ramses Rivera, catching that wide receiver screen, breaking a tackle around the 45-yard line of Wood Warriors, and carrying that rock was the quarterback, Darren Smith, as there is a player shaken up for the Warriors here on just the second play from scrimmage here. We'll see what the injured player is, but Darren Smith with a huge hole set up there by that left side by the big fellas, Ben Bray and Charlie Hola.
Yeah, Charlie Hola did a great job clearing out his defensive tackle there. It allowed plenty of room for Darren Smith to pull that football and run it, and a great play fake there as well by Georgia Ramirez. I thought he actually had the ball for a second, but once again, Darren Smith darting up the middle and picking up a nice chunk of yardage there for the Mountain Lions to get this drive going.
This is Kristen Quashi, a defensive tackle, 6 foot 240. He is in some discomfort on the field here as it looks like Kyle Ide is looking over the fallen defensive tackle. Unofficially, right around 45 yards for Rivera. And the one thing about Ramses, nice job of concentration, watching that football all the way into his hands, but then what he does after that reception, the yak, the yards after catch, and then the bully type football around the sidelines. He was just dragging tacklers, breaking tacklers, and making it difficult for that Westwood defense to corral him.
He was indeed shedding tacklers going up the sideline. He has a nice job of switching the football over to the outside hand and using that other hand to fight off the defenders as they come in. A nice job there by Ramses Rivera.
So Kwashi can't put any weight on that left ankle of his. So we'll continue to keep an eye out on the big fella. This is Darren Smith from the 14-yard line. And before they can snap it, it'll be a procedure penalty assessed to Red Mountain. Last week, the Mountain Lions only 17 yards in penalties. And when you think about where they were about week 5 to where they are now in week 10, they've really cleaned things up on the penalty front.
They have indeed. That's credit to the coaching staff tightening those guys up and getting them to realize the importance of not getting those penalties and killing off those drives after picking up positive yardage for the football team.
Jarquell Garner has stepped into the lineup. Trips to the near side for Smith. Student body left. This is Garner. Cuts it inside of the 20 to the 10, and it's going to be tackled there, but the ball is loose. There's a fumble on the play. There is a scrum underneath there. It looks like Red Mountain has recovered the fumble, but Jarquell Garner got popped, and the ball was jarred loose. Recovering the ball was Carson Foster, and the offensive lineman at the right place at the right time for Red Mountain, and he was what they call Johnny on the spot there, JP.
Indeed, he was. Carson Foster able to fall on that one there, but a nice tote from Jarquell Garner, and paving the way that time was 64 Ben Bray up into the hole and clearing out the second level for the ball carrier. An excellent job pulling around the end for Ben Bray.
Gain at 10 for Jarquell Garner. Jared Wilson is checked into the lineup. Darren Smith has Georgie Ramirez flanked to his right. There's Ramirez wide open if he wants him. The pass is caught at the 5, and he's going to run right into the end zone for a touchdown. Georgie Ramirez, his 3rd touchdown reception in the last 3 weeks from Darren Smith. And Red Mountain draws first blood here in this one. They lead it 6-0 on a touchdown pass from Darren Smith to Georgie Ramirez.
Yeah, it all started up front that time. The offensive line, great protection for Darren Smith. He's able to set his feet, deliver it out to the outside to Georgie Ramirez, and a little bit of coverage mishap there on the back end for Westwood as they had no flat defender out there, and it was wide open for Georgie.
Touchdown pass number 17 for Darren Smith, and he is red hot here. So at the 10-11 mark of this opening quarter, first possession of the night for the Mountain Lions, they score first. And with Connor Gardner's 1-point conversion attempt right through the middle, it's 7-0. Red Mountain here, and that's an impressive first drive there, James Poovey.
Very impressive. Started out with that big play, first play of the drive, over right about 50 yards, I believe, 45 to 50 yards on that one. To the outside, that was Ramses Rivera. That ball was caught in the flat right about the original line of scrimmage, and he took it down the field, got the drive going right away for Red Mountain, and they were able to capitalize ultimately and get that 7 points, excuse me.
So Westwood shaken up with the loss of Kristen Kwashi as we continue to monitor Kwashi's condition here on the near sideline, working on that right ankle. I'm not sure if they're trying to retape that, put him back on the field or not, but he appears again to be in some discomfort here for Westwood. So Darren Smith, a red-hot quarterback, the signal caller out of Sydney, New York, has really picked up his game the last couple of weeks. And the efficiency, passing the football last week, 16 of 18, that's 88%. You're not going to get much better than that.
No, he was very accurate with the football, made very smart decisions. He only had to really throw it away a couple of times. But Darren Smith doing a great job last week at quarterback for the Mountain Lions. He looks to continue that here tonight.
Harper Lloyd is back deep. And Derek Horn is also back deep. This is Gardner. He pooches it. There's a fair catch at the 32-yard line. And making the fair catch for the Westwood Warriors was Josh Franco. And as Franco secures that football, it comes up a little ginger on that right side, looked like he's about ready to begin the first square in hopscotch.
Yeah, he was hopping around a little bit. That looked like he might have got cleated. That little hop dance he was doing there. He's all right. Looks like he remains in the ball game here as Westwood begins their drive.
The Warriors, led by their head coach Kyle Ide in his 3rd year at 5-4, and they will start their quarterback. That is Jeremiah Stainer, he's a senior, 5'10", 175. He's a right-hander. The handoff, first play of the game on the left side. And running right behind the left tackle there is their standout and their most talented player. That is Manny Collier. And Manny Collier is one of the best that they have. 727 yards on 110 carries. He's reached pay dirt 6 times. He is their bell cow.
Yes, he is. The bulk of the offense goes through Manny Collier for the Westwood Warriors, and we will call his name a lot this evening.
We'll give him a gain of 3 as he was stacked up on that right side there. Francis Coomey and friends involved on the tackle. This is Collier, and Collier gets the snap, gets to the edge of the 40, 45-yard line. He's going to be forced out of bounds there. Waiting for him there was Evan Alta, and Francis Coomey, I think, shoved them out, but that was Manny Collier in the Wildcat package that time, and his speed to the edge was dangerous.
Yeah, he's got a little wiggle there as he got to the outside. He was able to shake a tackler, and he was not even close to full speed, so we'll see when he really turns on the jets what he's got.
Unofficially, a gain of 9 for Manny Collier. Ball spotted on the 44-yard line of Westwood, trailing 7-0. 9:23 to go. Clock stopped after that force out by Francis Coomey. Tanner Goodchild will start at cornerback at one spot here tonight, and it looks like Vasquez gets the other start. So no Daniels in the starting lineup tonight. This is a pitch to the near side, and he's going to be swallowed up. Alexander Randall was there, but also Braden Jansen, I think, was the first guy to get there, and the baby thumper starts this game off with a little thump. That's what he does.
Yeah, Braden Jansen doing a nice job in the middle there, filling up that B gap, clogging up the path there for the running back, and able to take him down just barely in the backfield there. Second and long upcoming here for Westwood.
Victor Sanchez had no chance on that sweep, couldn't get to the edge. Ball spotted on the 43-yard line. This is a play fake. Stainer to the outside looking for Collier at the 40. 45 makes a move at the 45-yard line, and then he's going to be picked up there by a host of tacklers. Let's double check who the receiver was. It was Johnny Collier. It was the other Collier. It was Manny's little brother, Johnny, making the reception. Very, very similar body types, and they both wear single digits. Johnny is 5'10", $140. He's a junior.
Yeah, nice reception by Johnny on the edge there for the Warriors.
Evan Alta out there in that safety spot. Hiram Borum, the Lions Den Varsity Player of the Week, sponsored by Parker & Sons, has that cast removed, and he's back there in pass coverage at this point in time. Ball spotted on the 49-yard line, 3rd and 5. Stainer, a pitch to the near side, and running right into a defender, and that was Trey Smith, stopping the ball carrier in his tracks. Joshua McClintock tried to make a move to the outside, and he got tattooed by Trey Smith.
Yeah, that front four for Red Mountain doing a great job that time. The offensive line for Westwood blocked down. They did not get fooled at all. They crossed face, and they were in the backfield immediately. No one fooled on that one there. A great stop on 3rd down for the Mountain Lions.
Excellent technique by the Mountain Lions defense. Everybody stayed home and read their keys perfectly, and that caused the runner to start out, come back in, and Trey Smith right there for him. Here's a punt, and I believe that's Collier. High booming punt. Molina taken at the 15, to the 20, and he's going to be grabbed down around the 22-yard line for the Westwood Warriors. Making the special teams tackle. Looked like number 9 was down there on that pile. Trent Thacker, a strong safety, 5'10", $168. He's a senior.
Nice play on special teams that time. Zach Molina is very dangerous in the open field. He had a little bit of room to run there, but that special teams for the Warriors closed in very quickly, and they were able to drop him before he picked up too many yards.
So Darren Smith back out on the football field. He will start this drive off on the 22-yard line. Smith under pressure, and he's going to go down, and he's going to be sacked. I believe the defensive end, number 48, got him. We'll double check it. No, it's number 40 for the Westwood Warriors down there to make a play, and that was a sack. Rayvon Williamson, one of the team captains, got there And that is a load 5'10", 215. Too much for the offensive line that time.
Yeah, that tackle got a little bit too deep in his pass set there, and Rayvon Williamson took a step to the inside and went right at the quarterback, and he was able to drop Darren Smith in the backfield for a loss there. A nice defensive play for the Westwood Warriors.
Darren Smith hasn't been sacked very many times, but they got to him that time. A loss of 9. Smith under center. On a play fake, they give it to Reese People as the ball is fumbled. He picks it up in the backfield, still on his feet to the outside, looking for blockers, and he's going to get to the 12-yard line and is going to be pushed back right there. So the play was blown up on the exchange. It was a reverse to Kalim Reese Peoples, and Darren Smith was unable to get the football in his gut. And at that point, James, it was a fire drill.
It was indeed a fire drill, and Red Mountain was lucky that there wasn't more Westwood players closer to the football, and they were able to recover it there and make something out of nothing. Picked up a couple yards there on the outside for Peebles, but a nice job keeping their head and not turning that one over deep in their own territory.
So the ball will now be spotted. Oh, let's sort out the penalty. There's a penalty marker down on the near hash around the 8-yard line. And I believe they picked that up, JP. So what does Tabor Lamar and Chris Andrianos have for a third on the country mile?
Probably not too many plays on the play sheet for that one. Look for maybe a running back to stay in and pass protection in case they try to blitz somebody, and maybe Darren Smith will take a shot down the field.
Let's see who's in the ball game at tailback. Timeout taken on the field. The tailback in the ball game at this juncture is Jared Butler, the sophomore. So timeout taken by Red Mountain. Mike Peterson will use the first of his 3 timeouts at the 6:14 mark. And we just kind of intimated that this is a long play. It'll be third and we'll call it 20 yards, right near 19. Red Mountain needs the 34-yard line to move the sticks here, James.
Yeah, they're going to have a long play here. Look for either a screen pass to the outside, use one of their speedy receivers to get up the football field quickly, or maybe a little bit of play action, maybe suck those those linebackers up a little bit, and then throw over the top with Darren Smith and that big arm.
Speaking of D. Smith, for the 3rd time in as many weeks, he's connected with Georgie Ramirez. And you might remember last week's touchdown pass to Georgie Ramirez. We thought he had stepped out of bounds.
Yeah.
That was
right on the edge. Right on the edge.
Great play, just some fancy footwork there by Georgie Ramirez. So after a long timeout, what appeared to be a long timeout, 3rd and 19 from the 12-yard line of the Westwood Warriors. Shotgun snap for Smith. Under pressure, steps through the pocket, fires, complete far side, and making the move and trying to bounce outside is the wide receiver that time. And that was, I believe, number 35 making the catch. So we'll double check that up. That is a
time for the early PSA tonight, Kevin.
There it is, because number 35 is not on the roster. I don't think that is Josiah Villanueva. He wore 38 last week, so I have no idea who made that reception, JP.
Yeah, and he was in the backfield, I believe, on that last play as well. They're trying to stand in for a little bit of pass protection.
Manny Collier back deep inside his own 35-yard line. This is Connor Gardner of tremendous talent, a high snap, and he puts that left leg into it. And not Garner's best pump, but what does he do? He gets the roll. And that will, again, be an effective punt. They flip the field, and Westwood will get possession of the rock on their own 32-yard line, trailing 7-0. But Connor Gardner, once again, he does it so effortless, but he just puts that leg into it. And sometimes it doesn't look pretty, but it's always effective.
Yeah, very effective there for Connor Gardner. A decent kick, but he got about a 20-yard roll out of that one. So ultimately a nice net for him, and that'll look good on the stat sheet.
We are honored to be working in the Westwood press box. It should be named the Bob Boxley press box here at Westwood High, but Mr. Boxley, the public address announcer here at Westwood High for some 22 years. So it is our privilege to be working with Bobby here tonight.
Indeed.
All right, this is going to be Collier. He wants to throw it this time. He's going to tuck it, run, turns to the corner at the 25-30, up the sideline to the 35-yard line to the 40, still on his feet, and I believe he stepped out of bounds inside the 40-yard line. But once again, Manny Collier showing speed of the edge before Major Kelly could get there and knock him out of bounds.
Yeah, pressure coming from the backside that time for Red Mountain. That was number 7, Hiram Bourne, was in pursuit. And Manny Collier able to get to the outside, get to the edge, and run straight up the football field, eluding about 5 or 6 tacklers on the way to a nice first down pickup for Westwood.
We'll call it a gain of 10 for Collier. Ball spot, we'll make it 12. Ball spotted on the 38-yard line. This is Stainer now in at quarterback. He wears number 17. Out of the gun. The give to Collier. Starts in, bounces it out, has speed to the edge, to the 40, 45-yard line, and he's still on his feet, back into the field, and it looked like he was going to go out of bounds, but not so fast. He just shifted gears and went right back up the middle, and Georgie Ramirez was right there to put him in the grasp and tackle him.
Very nice job running down that play for Georgie Ramirez. A lot of other tacklers in pursuit that time for Red Mountain, but once again, Collier able to use that speed, and he's got quite a burst, get away from those guys.
Gain of 8 for Manny Collier. Both Collier's getting it done here tonight. If it's not Manny, it's his brother Johnny. Second offensive series of the night for the Westwood Warriors. Moving left to right. Ball spotted on the 42-yard line. The give to the tailback, and Kumi had a chance at him in the backfield, but he didn't get him. But either way, Red Mountain was there. Great pursuit and great team defense there by the Mountain Lions. Alexander Randall was over in the vicinity, and also in the vicinity for the Mountain Lions was number 42. That's Tyler Wynn. We saw the senior play a lot last week, and he's here in the lineup again tonight.
Yeah, Wynn did a great job running that one down from behind, and as you mentioned, Kumi and Alexander Randall in trail there as well for the Red Mountain front four.
Ball carrier Blake Willis unable to get loose on that one, so this will be a 3rd and 3. 3rd and 3 from the 46-yard line of Westwood. 5-man down here. This is Collier on an option. Collier makes a move to the 50, in space at the 45-yard line, at the 40, and he's going to be tripped up in Red Mountain territory, and I believe that Evan Alta got there, and it was a shoelace tackle that really saved what could have been a big play and maybe a touchdown-saving tackle there by Alta.
Very deceptive speed for Manny Collier. You can't tell how fast he's going. 3 Red Mountain players had him dead to rights as he came around the corner there, but they just could not get him. He's too fast. He puts his foot in the ground when he clears the edge, and he is gone. They have got to step in front of him. You are not going to arm tackle him.
Gain of 16 for Manny Collier, and James refers to that deceptive speed. He just glides so silky smooth. Manny Collier, the leading rusher on this team, flirting over 100 yards here in this first half. Collier takes that direct snap and is going to be dropped in the backfield. In hot pursuit initially was Francis Kumi, and I believe that, well, let's see, Major Kelly was also there, and Hiram Boren also there too. So we'll have to see how the statisticians credit that tackle. But Borum and Major Kelly were right there to force Collier down to the ground, but it was Kumi that made him go the other direction.
Yeah, Kumi forced the play back to the inside, keeping the outside contained just as he's taught to do, and a nice job swarming that ball.
So Collier again, this time working from the 39-yard line of Red Mountain. They're showing blitz. They run it, and it's a good-sized hole there for number 24 that time, carrying the rock for the Westwood Warriors. That's their tailback. That is Victor Sanchez. And coming up to make the tackle, once again, his second tackle of the night, the big fellow wearing number 87, Trey Smith right there. And you talk about clogging up the middle. He is a run stuffer extraordinaire, isn't he?
Yeah, he got double-teamed that time, and you're always taught when you get double-teamed to fall down and create a pile. That's exactly what he did there. He's able to fight through that pile he created and ultimately come out with the tackle. Nice job there by Trey Smith.
Lining up to the near side is wide receiver Christian Payne. This is Manny Collier in the Wildcat. Trips to the far side. Low snap for Collier. Wants to throw the football. Now he's going to run it, and he runs right into Trey Smith once again. Trey Smith right there to force that play. And in run support there was Braden Jansen, but Trey Smith made the initial contact.
Yeah, Trey Smith once again running it down from the backside. He helped sandwich Manny Collier along with number 9 Braden Jansen. He might have got his hand dinged up a little bit there, but I think he'll be okay. Looks like he's staying in the ball game. JP,
interesting play call there on the 3rd and long for the tailback Collier. There on the Wildcat once again is Collier back on the punt. 36.2 average for Manny Collier. Has a long of 53 yards this year. Back deep, it's Molina from his own 10. Good snap for Manny Collier. Puts that right leg into it, angles it to the near side, takes a Westwood hop, and then it just caroms into the end zone by a yard. But Manny Collier, You talk about a dual threat athlete or just an athlete. Manny Collier has got an impressive right leg too, doesn't he?
Yeah, I assume we'll have him probably kicking a field goal here before it's all over with. He's a superstar for these guys, doing a lot of things and doing them really well, running that football. He's able to get out of the pocket. We mentioned the deceptive speed. The Red Mountain guys there are going to have to make that one extra step in front of him and wrap him up.
Manny Collier getting a drink of water right now, and why not? The young man doing an awful lot here in this first quarter. 7-0 our score. You're watching this game on Red Mountain TV. Special thank you to our producer, Jeremy Knutson, on Red Mountain TV, on the Red Mountain Broadcast Network, on YouTube. This is Darren Smith under center. Offset eye. The turnaround is the give to the tailback, and he is going to be swarmed under. And that time, the tailback, number 35, had no chance as that Westwood front really just kind of beat up that offensive line that time. You don't see Red Mountain not get the push very often, but that time Westwood, they had the push.
Yeah, it's all about low man wins up front, and that time everyone was very low on the front side for Westwood, able to knife underneath those offensive lineman blocks and stuff the holes. Nice job there for Westwood.
Yet to see Ty McElroy tonight. This is Smith again under center on a play fake. Rolls to the far side. Pass complete out in the flat, and then it's dropped. Dropping that football was Parker McClure. And McClure has a difficult time practicing all week with that bad hamstring. And James, there's a penalty marker around the 29-yard line. Let's see what this one's all about. The Westwood Warriors are pointing in the other direction. At least the official for Westwood, that's number 21, Keith Whiting.
Yeah, they're looking for a hold, is Westwood. Anytime there's a screen to the outside, that's typically going to be a holding call. That's what Westwood's looking for here, so we'll see what they say.
Oh, a personal foul assessed to the Westwood Warriors. And you can see members of the Warrior coaching staff, arms high in the air and very wide with that question of what in the heck happened and who is it to call on.
Yeah, a bit of disbelief there on Westwood, but nonetheless it does move the chains for Red Mountain. And they're driving here now.
So Red Mountain gets the first down by virtue of a penalty, a 15-yard variety. So Red Mountain will gladly take that. They'll have a 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line. There goes Parker McClure in motion. Under center, it's Darren Smith. The pitch to right. This is again number 35. He starts in, bounces it outside, up the sideline, and breaking off a nice run there is number 35, and we're going to check with Bob Oxley. He might have that for us, but there's another penalty marker. James, sort this one out for us.
Yeah, it looks like a little bit of extracurricular activity there. Number 74, Francisco Salcedo, and number 34 for Westwood. That was Blake Willis exchanging pleasantries, if you will, there. So we'll see. That's going to be, that's another personal foul on Westwood. Oh, now this one's going to be on Red Mountain. And double personals, actually.
So this one should offset. I thought we were going to get ourselves into a little tit for tat. 4.3 on the game clock, 7-0. Mountain Lions lead it here on a road football game for them, trying to finish out the slate, pick up their 8th victory against 2 defeats. The question was asked earlier tonight who those 2 defeats were, and the Basha Bears was one of them, and the Perry Pumas was the other. And those are 2 very formidable and very well-coached football programs.
Indeed.
This is Smith again under center on a play fake. Fires over the middle of the ball, is caught by the tight end Michael Pearson. Pearson makes the catch around the 39-yard line, and that is a nice pitch and catch by Darren Smith to Michael Pearson, his 2nd catch of the season.
Yeah, that one thrown to the back shoulder of Pearson there. He did a nice job turning around, snaring that one out of the air and turning around, making a football move and turning upfield, and a nice gain there for the Mountain Lions.
That's how quarter number 1 comes to a close. A 19-yard pass play from Darren Smith to Michael Pearson. First 12 in the books. We move to the second quarter from Westwood High. Our score, Red Mountain 7 and the Westwood Warriors 0. You're watching Red Mountain football on the Red Mountain Football Network. Back with you from Brimhall Field on the campus of Westwood High. Ball spotted on the 41-yard line of the Warriors. This is a running play, and it looked like it was Georgie Ramirez. He too running out of the Wildcat package, and great snap there, and Georgie Ramirez just gets the football and just finds that hole and hits it hard. Yeah, right up the beak at that time, and nice job paving the way. Number 58, Carson Foster up front, the right guard for Red Mountain, did a nice job of blowing his guy off the football and opening up the hole there for Georgie. Yeah, and the center, Francisco Saucedo, also doing a nice job there of creating that crease right there. So Georgie, again, out of the Wildcat formation. This is the give to Rivera. Turns at the 35-yard line to the 30, and he's going to be knocked out of bounds there. Hit pretty hard over there to make the play. It looked like for Westwood, number 40, once again for him, Rayvon Williamson. We've called his name a couple of times tonight. He's a captain for the Westwood Warriors, but the creativity for this offense for Red Mountain, Tabor Lamar, Chris Andriatis, the play callers, you can start to see their confidence really growing here. Yeah, they're starting to take a few shots, maybe do a little bit of different stuff up front, get these guys out in space, use their speed and elusivity to break some plays open and break a few tackles along the way. They're doing a nice job with the play calls here tonight. This is Ramirez again in the Wildcat. Two wide receivers to the left. Straight snap back to Georgie. Georgie's trying to fight his way through some offensive linemen, and he gets into that second level, and he just darn near squirted out of there like Deontay Elliott did a couple of weeks back, but another powerful run there by Georgie Ramirez, being very patient behind that line, and then just with that sudden burst and that power, gets that big yardage. Another 9-yard gash by Georgie Ramirez, back-to-back 9-yard runs for number 22. Yeah, I mean, you talk about the power, and it's there, Kevin, a small frame for Georgie Ramirez, but you would never know it. He knows exactly how to run behind his pads, use his headgear, and deliver a blow, and he never shies away from contact. 256 yards on the year. This is Darren Smith. Wants to throw this time. Pass dumped out in the flat by Ramirez. Makes a move at the 20. Still on his feet at the 15. Now he's inside the red zone. He's going to be tackled around the 12-yard line there. But how about the shoulder dance and the little shimmy by number 22, Georgie Ramirez? That looked fun. Yeah, that was great. He juked two guys that time as he was going back to the inside. He could have easily took that one out to the perimeter, went out of bounds with it. But no, as I mentioned a minute ago, he does not shy away from contact, stepped inside and picked up more yardage for his football team. Unofficially, a gain of 11 in the red zone for the second time tonight. First and goal from the 11. Smith wants to throw, looking left all the way, fires. The ball is incomplete, looking for Molina, but the play was ruled dead because of a false start assessed to the Red Mountain Mountain Lions. Yeah, somebody jumped a little early there. I believe it was the tight end that time, just got off the ball a little before the snap, and it was a little delayed call, but ultimately it will be a procedural penalty called on the Mountain Lions. So procedure assessed to Red Mountain. That'll back them up 5 yards. Tonight's AIA referee is Joe Anderson. The umpire is Scott Adams. The linesman is Rod Walker. Our line judge is Bo Adams. And the back judge is Dave Taysom. Our AIA officiating crew here tonight in this East Valley Region contest. That 5 yards will back them up to the 16-yard line. Smith on a delay. Gives it to the tailback, 35. He's going to run left, and he's going to get clobbered on the 15-yard line. Making that play for the Westwood Warriors, that was number 3. And number 3 there, a very sound tackle by Carlos Jaime. Jaime, 5'9", 170. He took on the ball carrier head on. You talk about that pad level. Both guys there just squared each other up with those pads, and that was textbook play. Yeah, that was a beautiful play there. He came up, buzzed his feet, and able to make the tackle, wrap up. Nice job. Second down from the 16-yard line. Shotgun snap for Smith. Pass complete to the outside by Kalem Reese-Peebles. And for Kalem Reese-Peebles, his first reception of the night, forced out by Will Driggs. And a nice catch there. And another on-time delivery by the quarterback, Darren Smith. Yeah, nice throw by Smith. Peebles able to get there, sit down a little bit in that zone, and Darren Smith delivers the football on time right to the sideline. A nice connection there for the Mountain Lions. Catch number 17 for Kalem Reese-Peebles. This is a 3rd and 4 from the 5-yard line. Red Mountain can get a first down. Rivera lines up to the far side. There goes Molina in motion. Shotgun snap here for Smith. Looking left all the way. Fires to the end zone. The ball is in and out of the hands of Zach Molina. That pass was broken up at the goal line by number 15, and that was a bang-bang play by Will Driggs. He separated the ball from the wide receiver, Zach Molina, and that was, like I said, bang-bang.
Yeah, you talk about textbook play. That was textbook defensive back play there, separating the receiver from the ball. And number 41 for Westwood, unfortunately not on the roster here, but he caused all that havoc coming off the edge free, and he was a free runner right in the face of Darren Smith.
This will be a 22-yard field goal for Connor Gardner if he can put it through, and he drills it right between the uprights from 22 yards away. That was a great snap and a great hold by Garrett Strail, and Connor Gardner does the rest. He's now 7 of 8 on the season in field goals. That long still of 45 yards. But when you can rely on your special teams unit like that, that's a big boost for your football team.
Indeed, that was a great kick there for Connor Gardner. It was nice for Red Mountain to get out of that with the field goal, and it was also nice for Westwood to not allow Red Mountain to get in the end zone there. A big difference between 14-0 and 10-0 here. It keeps it a little bit more manageable if you're the Westwood Warriors, if you want to try to get back in this football game.
Great point, James. That was a bend but don't break scenario for Coach Ide's team, as they really don't want to get in a shootout with this Red Mountain offense. Manny Collier can do a lot of things, and he's been in position here to do a lot of things here tonight, running, and he's been playing quarterback out of that wildcat position, so the best is yet to come from Manny Collier. 10-0 our score. Second quarter action from Brimhall Field on the campus of Westwood High. This will be Gardner. Ball spotted on the far hash mark at the 40-yard line. It's another pooch to the near side, and the ball is loose for just a moment. And there was a brief scramble for it, but it was knocked out of bounds. Tanner Goodchild was the first one down for Red Mountain. And there's another part about the special teams game. We've talked about Connor Gardner an awful lot, James, but Hiram Boren had a breakout performance last week in special teams, but the special teams unit defensively, they've been getting down there and they've been making some plays.
Yeah, a great job by the hands team for Red Mountain that time. They knew they were going to do a pooch kick there, and it was very well covered. They used the sideline as an extra defender, and that was a textbook special teams play there for the Mountain Lions.
So here comes Collier again lined up in that wildcat position. Flank to his right is Victor Sanchez. 4 down linemen for Red Mountain. No Ike Thompson tonight. They run it to Sanchez, and he runs to the near side. He's going to run right into a stone wall of defenders right there. Looked like Francisco Saucedo was all over that play, and he just swallowed up the ball carrier. And I mentioned that ball carrier was Victor Sanchez, but Francisco Saucedo getting saucy again.
Yeah, excellent job there in the middle by Saucedo, and number 80, Francis Kumi, in with an assist there as well for Red Mountain.
Gain of 1 for Sanchez. Lining up to the near side is their wide receiver. That is Christian Payne. This is Collier again at quarterback in that wildcat package. 2 wide receivers to the far side, 1 to the near. Play fake for Collier. He wants the threat to throw this time. He's being pressured to the outside. He throws, and the ball is overthrown. He had a man breaking on the far sideline. It looked like Vasquez got beat in coverage, and streaking down the sideline and unable to connect was Collier, but Will Driggs had the man beat.
He did have him beat, and unfortunately, Westwood not able to complete that one, and that was because of number 87, once again for Red Mountain, bearing down the quarterback, Trey Smith, coming in from the backside and forcing Collier to get rid of that football early.
Give Big Trey another hurry as we continue to monitor Westwood's the big fella, and they continue to watch him down there on the field. That is Kristen Quashie still nursing that bad wheel. Red Mountain showing blitz here on a 3rd and 9. Collier rolls out, wants to throw the football, has no one to throw it to, and he's going to stay on his feet, cut back inside, and be very, very close to the first down. Trey Smith again in pursuit. He got by Jansen at the 40-yard line. Another cutback run, and Manny Collier made a negative play, a positive play with his feet.
He did indeed. Pressure coming once again from the backside. He's flushed out of the pocket, had to make the play with his feet. Ultimately, number 90, Alexander Randall, came up with a tackle for Red Mountain. but not before Manny Collier almost picked up the first down for the Warriors.
Whenever I see AR in backside pursuit, I'm always impressed that a nose tackle can run like that. He runs like a gazelle. So Collier picks up about, we'll call it 8 yards on the play. It'll be 4th down and 2. A long 2 at that from the 48-yard line. Westwood has the football in their own territory. This is Manny Collier. 2 to the top of your screen, 1 to the near side. Collier with a long count at the line of scrimmage. And we are very close to a play clock violation. There is no visible play clock here at Brimhall Field. And JP, I ask you this question. Why is that? Why do some facilities have a play clock, other facilities do not? How challenging is that to get each facility a 25-second play clock?
Yeah, I think it unfortunately comes down to the funds aspect of things, and you wish that it was standardized across the board, but unfortunately it's not. Sometimes you just have to wait for that white hat to start waving his arm and start counting it off, and you know you got 5 seconds, and you better get that ball snapped. That's it.
Those 5 seconds and the waving of the arm, those used to be Mississippi's back in my day growing up. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. 10-0 our score here. When you think about just the score, you can see at the 6:51 mark here that Westwood is an improved football team.
Indeed they are. They played pretty well on defense here tonight, and they had a couple of big plays on offense. And, I mean, what can you say about Manny Collier? He does it all for this football team. He runs it, he throws it, and he's able to get out of a lot of jams.
Double checking Connor Gardner, 7 of 9 on field goals this year with that long of 45. All right, out of the timeout for Coach Ide. He's got the play that he'd like to run. Manny Collier is going to be his quarterback. He runs that Wildcat, and he is as elusive as there is a player, and he is as entertaining as there is in the high school circuit, James. No doubt about it.
Indeed.
4th and 2 from the 48-yard line. This is Collier out of the shotgun. Looks like he wants to throw it. He's from the 40, backs up. Still on his feet, nearly pressured, drops the football. Ball is loose on the far sideline, and Red Mountain looks like they are going to recover the football. It was an opportunity to get a scoop and score, but Red Mountain couldn't corral the rock. But Collier was pressured from the backside. Another near miss for this Red Mountain defense right there.
Yeah, that was number 74 in pursuit, Francisco Salcedo, bearing down on the quarterback and knocking that ball loose. A couple of Red Mountain Lions had a chance to scoop it up, but unfortunately they were not able to grab it, forced it out of bounds right about the, was that the 20, maybe the 22-yard line. So great field position here for Red Mountain.
Red Mountain will start this drive just outside of the red zone, right on the 22-yard line, working left to right. Darren Smith has gone all the way at quarterback. He'll have Ramses Rivera to the near side. Kalim Reese-Peebles to the far side. Looking for Reese-Peebles. Has him in the end zone. Back of the end zone. The ball is batted down at the last minute. What a defensive play by the defensive back for the Westwood Warriors. And once again, number 15 right there, that's Will Driggs. That was a pretty ball. What a tight spiral by Darren Smith. Kalim Reese-Peebles in the back of the end zone waiting for that one. And we mentioned that Driggs just batted it down.
Yeah, great bat down there. Pass defended there by Will Driggs. That was a indeed touchdown. A beautiful ball there from Darren Smith to Kalim Reese-Peebles near the end line, but Driggs timed it perfectly and swatted it down.
Duly note the time that Darren Smith had. He had a long time. Great protection up front by that group. The offensive line. Smith out of the gun, looking left again. Pass is complete to the tight end, Michael Pearson. Gain of about 9 yards. He's dropped immediately by Westwood. Looked like that time one of the safeties were over there to make that tackle. He was tackled immediately. Ethan Neely with the tackle and give Pearson his second catch of the game. Maybe about a gain of about 7 yards right there. But Darren Smith looking left quite a bit here on this drive.
Yeah, he's able to look and really survey the field, and that offensive line is really starting to gel. That's gonna come up huge as we near the playoffs.
Rivera and Ramirez lined up to the left side. This is Smith looking for Jordan. You can't find him initially. Back to the end zone again. The ball is intercepted. The ball was intercepted in the goal line. Driggs one more time. Will Driggs has been very pesky on this drive, and this time he steps in front of a Darren Smith pass and picks one off.
Turned away the one in the back of the end zone, and now he takes one for himself. Not really sure why that football was thrown there. Double coverage right at the goal line. Might have wanted to check that one, but too little too late now, and it'll be Warriors ball.
No doubt about it, an ill-advised throw. That's one of those where you'd like to see him just throw it out of the end zone and really live to play another down. So a big pendulum swinging type turnover for the Westwood Warriors. And what you do now is you give Manny Collier a long field to work with, but what you do have here is he's got an awful lot of space in front of him right now.
Yeah, look for him to throw something down the seam here. They need to get a big play and open up this offense.
Collier under center from his own 1 yard line. Turns around, hands it to the tailback. The tailback lowering his shoulder, trying to drive forward. He's going to be wrapped up and grabbed by Trey Smith. Coming up in run support was Tanner Goodchild. But the tailback for Westwood that time, Victor Sanchez, just can't get loose.
Yeah, nice job wrapping up the tailback that time. And Trey Smith, he's having a heck of a game here for Red Mountain. Once again, he is in the middle of the play.
Playing right there, defensive end, and they're moving him around a little bit. Collier again under center. A second down play. They run right back to the same play. This time it's on the right side. And Alexander Randall there, along with Francis Comey. And I think Francis Comey shot the gap first and was there to drill the ball carrier. So nice job by Francis Comey.
Gave him the old clothesline that time. Comey right there. He got through right off the block, up the middle, and stoned the ball carrier in the backfield there. Nice job there up front for Comey.
So 2 rushing plays, none of them run by Manny Collier. This will be bring up a 3rd and 8. Francisco Saucedo runs off the field. He'll catch a breather here. Haven't called Giraldi's number yet here tonight. Collier out of the gun this time, working from his own end zone. Looking left, now he steps up, wants to run, bounces at the outside, still on his feet, turns the corner, and he's going to be very close to the first down, but I believe the spot will be short. Boy, the far official had him spotted 3 yards away from the first down. What I saw here on the near side looked like he was very close. In fact, I think they're going to give him the spot. Nifty effort there by Collier to push the ball out in front of him as he stepped out of bounds, but the ball was forward.
Yeah, very heady play. He knew exactly where he needed to be, and that was number 48, Major Kelly, were able to get a hand on that jersey and slow him down. Otherwise, it would have been a few more yards for Westwood.
I don't know if that's Rod Walker over there or Bo Adams, but he had the ball spotted about 3 yards shy. So this is Stainer back on the field. Here comes a pressure from Red Mountain on a delay. And that was Manny Collier that time running into Francis Comey and Alexander Randall. And I'll tell you what, if you run into those 2 guys time in and time out, it's going to be advantage Alexander Randall and Francis Comey most cases.
Yes, indeed. They are able to be very stout up at the line of scrimmage and close up those gaps immediately.
Gain of 2. Ball spotted on the 16-yard line. 2nd and 8. Stainer again. Play fake to Collier. Pass outside, incomplete. Alta there for the coverage along with Shaq Daniels. So Shaq back out on the field here. Pass intended for the wide receiver Christian Payne. And Stainer unable to complete that pass, but he didn't have a lot of time as that line broke down in the front 4 of Red Mountain, again harassing the quarterback.
Yeah, Comey did a great job that time getting off his block and getting in the backfield there. And number 5, Shaq Daniels, was the curl the flat defender on that play, and he did a nice job as well closing out to that receiver between him and the sideline.
Christian Payne lines up to the near side. This is going to be Manny Collier. He's got 2 wide receivers to the right with a tight end. Collier on the rollout. Gets to the edge, turns the corner to the 20, and he gets absolutely drilled by Anthony Giraldi or the other 2 in that lineup. That was Georgie Ramirez. One of those 2 guys came over there and went roughshod on Manny Collier, and that was a flattened job.
Ooh, I would have to see the replay, but by my account, I think that was Georgie Ramirez. He might have even left his feet on that one, Kevin. I'm kind of surprised there wasn't a penalty flag on that.
I was looking for a flag, but what I did here and what I will take note of were the oohs and ahs from that far sideline right there. The fans and the players involved in that one were treated to a big-time hit. You talk about lowering the boom. If that was double deuces, Georgie Ramirez, what a smack on Manny Collier. And that's what Manny Collier does as a defensive player. And here's Manny, puts another one high into the sky. This one's above the lights. Here comes Molina in traffic at the 45-yard line. And he's going to be spun down and finally corralled after they nearly take his helmet off. And golly.
They did, Kevin.
There's no penalty marker on the field. Yes, there is a penalty marker.
Finally.
You had to figure that there would be one. This is more about the return, but Zach Molina was completely mugged on that return job, and not only did they mug him, but they stole his helmet.
Yeah, number 58, I believe it was, for Westwood, was trying to tackle Zach Molina around the shoulders, and he got his arms all the way around him and ended up getting up above his headgear and ultimately tearing his helmet off. So
Darren Smith back out on the field. It's 10-0, 2:44 to go till halftime. Smith, 1,573 yards. Those numbers are wrong. So here we are. As you can see, the attrition factor starting to take its toll just a little bit on the Westwood defense. Member of their front four down on his knees. Here comes Jared Wilson to check in along with Kalim Reese-Peebles. This will be a full wide receiver set for Darren Smith. In the slot is Georgie Ramirez, already with 3 touchdown passes this season. This is Smith on a zone read. Smith to the 40, 35-yard line, and he tries to hobble into the 37-yard line. He's going to be tackled right there by the Westwood Warriors. Number 41 looked like he was there, and there's no 41.
Yeah, hard bit of running there for Darren Smith, able to keep that ball, tucks it high and tight, and uses all 195 pounds rumbling down the football field and picking up a nice bit of yardage there for Red Mountain.
He is just one powerful football player. Clock continues to roll, approaching the 2-minute mark here in the second quarter from Westwood High. Westwood showing blitz here. There goes Molina on a play fake. Good protection up front. And there is a long ball into the end zone, and that is Ramses Rivera on the receiving end of that one, and that is a touchdown. Darren Smith to Ramses Rivera. 33-yard scoring strike, and that connection gets back in action one more time for the 5th time this season. Rivera on the receiving end of a Darren Smith bomb.
Just a beautiful offensive play. It all starts up front with the great pass protection. Darren Smith able to throw that football. Ramses Rivera coming out of the slot, running down the seam. Touchdown, Red Mountain.
James, there were so many things going on that play, but you had a chance as a broadcaster to slow it down, and you had 3 different ways to call that one. But Darren Smith had an absolute ton of time, and the move by Rivera, and then the over-the-shoulder grab, great adjustment with the body to haul that one in. And that was a really spectacular catch for Ramses Rivera, and it couldn't happen to a finer young man who continues to battle that catching bug, but he has really stepped out of it, and he looks to be back.
Yeah, he did. That was a great job of hauling that one in there in the end zone. He beat his defender, had about 2 steps on him, and able to locate that one, turn his head, grab the football, come down with it for the 6 points. Nice job there, Ramses Rivera. He's back, and they're going to need him in the playoffs.
18th touchdown pass of the year for Darren Smith, and that combination, Darren Smith to Ramses Rivera, is as lethal as there is in the state. Speed kills, we mentioned that many times on the broadcast, and Ramses Rivera got by that secondary, and again, made a nice adjustment. I think the big thing for Rivera was to catch those bubble screens, catch the easy ones, and he made a lot of plays. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, he led the team with 5 receptions in the ball game, only 23 yards, but it was making those catches and trying to make some moves with the football. He got his confidence back, just doing the simple things.
Indeed, indeed, and that will help him there as well with that nice touchdown grab.
33-yard touchdown reception for Ramses Rivera. Connor Gardner once again drills the PAT, and it is 17-0. The Mountain Lions in the driver's seat as we await the performance for the Westwood Marching Band here at halftime. Proud sponsors of Red Mountain Football, Parker & Sons, for all your heating and cooling needs, Parker & Sons. What a beautiful night for football here in Mesa, Arizona. Not quite as far east this time tonight, James.
Yeah, saved us about 15 minutes worth of driving back up to our northern territory up there where we both reside. So
got a chance to hit Canes tonight if all things go well. 17-0, buck 57 to the break. This is Collier on the give to the tailback. He goes right up the middle. And he gets thwarted right there because he runs right into Alexander Randall, among others. A Pack Alliance right there. But there was a collision right there. That was a big-time body collision right there in the middle of that tackle.
Yeah, Alexander Randall just stoning the ball carrier at the line of scrimmage there, and nowhere for him to go.
1:27 to go, 17-0. This is Collier. The give to the tailback up the middle, and he runs right into that stonewall defense again. Absolutely no penetration into this front four for the Westwood Warriors. Major Kelly was there along with Randall and Braden Jansen, and a Westwood Warrior player a little bit shaken up. The ball carrier again is for Westwood is Victor Sanchez, and he's been right there with Manny Collier, I believe, with about 6 or 7 carries. But for Sanchez, he has found it very difficult to find any kind of real estate.
Yes, Sanchez is going up into traffic more often than not, and not able to really bounce it outside. Once again, Red Mountain doing a great job with outside contain up front with those front four, and they're not letting a whole lot of stuff get outside.
Sanchez, a junior tailback, 423 yards when the night began. He scored 2 touchdowns. For Westwood as a whole, they average about 142 yards a game on the ground. They've scored 10 touchdowns. They don't pass it very much, that's for sure. About 80 yards a game. And Stainer is their leading passer on this football team. But so far tonight, it's been really great play and continued play by this Red Mountain defense. At this point in the game, they're pitching another shutout, James.
Yeah, they're playing outstanding tonight, not letting very many things get behind them. They're securing the tackles. They've made a couple of nice open field tackles tonight as well, and just a solid defensive effort so far here from the Mountain Lions.
So we will double check here, and now we got some pressure on Stainer, and Stainer is going to be sacked. Georgie Ramirez was there along with Francis Kumi. Ramirez ends up with the football, and now I finally got the word that we were looking for. So that tailback, number 35, is T-Mac. Ty McElroy, for whatever reason, that did not look like T-Mac, did it?
It did not.
You think we could pick out T-Mac in a crowd, but for some reason, after having about 4 or 5 weeks off and not wearing his patented number 23, well, now we get the understanding. Well, that shows you the speed that 35 had. That's Ty McElroy's speed.
That 23 must still be in the wash, I guess. I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, now we know that's Ty McElroy, number 35. 35s usually don't get to the edge that quickly, so that was a little bit of a stunner. Ooh.
That's too tight right there. Way too tight. 1-1 in the 8th in the World Series. Got a little something on that one.
A little crosstown 2A football. Phoenix Christian at Scottsdale Christian. They're knotted up 21 apiece right now.
Oh, big one out there in the 2A. Special thank you to freshman head coach Leo Aviles for that tidbit and pointing out that is Ty McElroy wearing number 35. All right, welcome back, T-Mac. Glad we finally got that one figured out. We had the blind leading the blind for just a second, James.
Indeed.
So here's Collier from his own 5. Low snap, digs it out, and sends a booming punt to Molina at the 45. Slips a tackle to the 50. Stiff arm a tackle, and then he's going to be grabbed right there and tackled by number 7. Great special teams tackle there by Trey Haynes, because number 3, Zach Molina, is as wiry as they come.
Yeah, very shifty there as he caught the football, able to make a couple of moves and elude a tackler or two before he was finally brought down right about the 50-yard line. Kind
of a raucous ambiance here at Westwood High at Brim Hall Field. Pretty good crowd on hand, but they got the music playing. Looks like they got a DJ down there, but it's a party atmosphere here at Westwood tonight.
Yeah, everybody's having a good time. Like you said, a good crowd on hand. It's beautiful outside. And a great night for the last night of the regular season.
Ball spotted at midfield. Here's Smith from the pocket. Fires over the middle of the field, and it's incomplete. Looking for Jared Wilson, and Wilson lost his footing at the 35-yard line. Otherwise, he was running a crossing route and had a chance to run for a long way, but unable to bring that one in.
Yeah, ball was thrown a little bit behind him there. Darren Smith a little bit off on his delivery there and not able to haul that one in down the field.
Just watching Zach Molina return to the huddle, you can tell he's playing with an awful lot of confidence. Is Zach Molina coming off that career-high 7-catch, 154-yard performance last week with 3 touchdowns. Here's an empty set for Darren Smith. 4 wide receivers. Smith looking to the near side. Thought about going for Rivera. Has time. Flushed out of the pocket. Still in the pocket. And he dumps off to Molina at the 49-yard line out to the 50. Penalty marker comes down. And great job of defensive play there by the Westwood Warriors. Nice job there on the tackle by number 34. That was Blake Willis. And again, when you're able to contain Zach Molina, one of those guys that really can get open in a phone booth, nice job there defensively by the Warriors that time.
Yeah, they closed in very nicely there on Zach Molina. And a lot of time for Darren Smith to throw the football, but not a whole lot of production there out of the offense. But penalty against Westwood is going to move the chains here for the Mountain Lions. And
really, that's a credit to the secondary of the Westwood Warriors. They have really started to stiffen here as we move along in this second quarter. They've made some adjustments between the first quarter and the second quarter in that secondary. They've stepped up.
Yes, they have. They're not giving up the big plays like they were earlier in the ball game.
This will be a 1st and 10 from the 40. Smith back to throw. Has time again, directing some traffic. Trying to get the ball to Wilson on the near side, and is just going to take a couple steps down the sideline. He'll be forced out around the 38-yard line, applying the pressure that time for the Westwood Warriors. It looked like number 41 that time.
Yeah, credit to the secondary that time for Westwood. No one was open down the field, nowhere to go with the football for Darren Smith, so he had to take it to the sideline and get what he could out of that one.
The corners led by Driggs are doing a nice job in that secondary, including the safeties. So Ramses Rivera lines up to the far side. Molina's in the slot. 2 wide receivers to the near side. Smith again with time. Steps up in the pocket. Flushed out. Penalty marker out. Ball is thrown downfield and it's incomplete. Kalimris Peebles looking for a flag. He's going to get one late by the head linesman. The referee also had a difficult time. He fumbled his penalty flag, but he did get it out. And that was just a bizarre play, JP. A lot of stuff happening on that one.
He could not get rid of that thing. He was just trying to throw it in the air and just couldn't get away from it. That was unbelievable right there. 2 penalty flags on this play. We'll see what they say.
Sometimes when you listen to these things back, it's amazing. You're like, how did we pick up on that? How did we see that? There's a lot going on up here. We're in the press box from Westwood High. Not quite as palatial as the Parker & Sons press box over at Red Mountain, but still, it's a nice facility either way, JP.
Indeed, indeed.
So after another penalty assessed to, looks like Westwood, they're going to replay the down. So this will be 2nd down and 9 from the 40-yard line. 21 and a half seconds to go. 17-0 Mountain Lions. They lead it. So Rivera lines up to the near side, fresh off a 33-yard touchdown reception. Darren Smith out of the pistol. Flank to his right is Ramirez. They want to set up a screen to Jordy. He makes the catch at the 40. 35, 30, cuts across the field into open space. Penalty marker comes in at the 25-yard line, into the 23, and he's going to be tackled there by Rayvon Williamson. Rayvon having himself a great game. And James, believe it or not, there is a penalty marker on the field.
You're kidding me.
I am not kidding you. Holding assessed to Red Mountain.
Yeah, nice interior pressure that time for Westwood. They're able to come right up the middle there and get in the backfield in a hurry. That was a design screen play, so they might have let a couple of guys up front go through free, but Westwood is really digging in up front here, and they are coming.
Speaking of digging in, this group of Joe Anderson and Scott Adams, Rod Walker, Bo Adams, and Dave Tameson are really getting into it now. Clock running, 9 seconds to go. Smith down the middle of the field looking for Molina, makes a catch inside the red zone. And down inside the 5-yard line is Zach Molina. Gain of 34 yards. Clock stopped with 0.6 of a second. And I'm not sure how they're going to get a playoff here. The clock will start when the chain gang gets set. The chain gang still hasn't gotten set. So it'll be a 1st and goal for Red Mountain with 0.6 of a second. They try to stop the clock, and I'm not sure that they were able to do that.
Yeah, too much tough sell there with .6 on the clock.
So Red Mountain clearly did not have a timeout left. And all you can say is another nice pass play by that combination of Darren Smith to Zach Molina. Molina, give him 8, maybe 9 catches now inside the 5-yard line where he's been stopped. Oh, so close has been Zemo. But that is how the first half comes to a close from Brimhall Field on the campus of Westwood High. And our score remains Red Mountain 17, Westwood 0. Halftime festivities coming up next. You're watching Red Mountain football on Red Mountain TV on the Red Mountain Broadcast Network on YouTube. And he makes the reception around the 8-yard line, and he's going to be tackled around the 4-yard line. Oh, spotted at the 5. And you talk about a tight.
A proud sponsor of your Phoenix Suns and Arizona Coyotes.
Parker & Sons.
A partner with your Arizona Diamondbacks and contributor to the D-Backs Give Back Foundation.
Parker & Sons.
A proud sponsor, donator, and volunteer for Arizona's Special Olympics.
Parker & Sons.
Parker is one of the most community-driven companies in Phoenix. A local family-operated company with award-winning installations and service for all your AC, plumbing, electrical, or water softener needs. Call 602-2REPAIR. That's 602-2-REPAIR for Parker & Sons.
A shout out to Red Mountain football fans. This is head coach Mike Peterson. From me to you, I invite you to listen to the Lions Den podcast each week, hosted by Red Mountain football play-by-play voice Kevin Derryberry, the K-Man. We will talk Mountain Lion football in depth after each game. Highlights, player interviews, chalk talk, and the Parker & Sons Varsity Player of the Week. Listen to the Lions Den. And hey, don't be that guy.
Football fans, Dryforce Restoration Specialist is the top restoration team in the Valley. Whether it be fire damage, water damage, or mold, our dedicated team of trained detail professionals are committed to help you restore your roar. Locally owned and operated for 16 years, Dryforce Restoration. Call 480-813-0000. Once again, that's 480-813-0000. Dryforce Restoration, or go to dryforce.net.
A proud sponsor of your Phoenix Suns and Arizona Coyotes.
Parker & Sons.
A partner with your Arizona Diamondbacks and contributor to the D-Backs Give Back Foundation.
Parker & Sons.
A proud sponsor, donator, and volunteer for Arizona's Special Olympics.
Parker & Sons.
Parker is one of the most community-driven companies in Phoenix. A local family-operated company with award-winning installations and service for all your AC, plumbing, electrical, or water softener needs. Call 602-2-REPAIR. That's 602, the number 2, REPAIR for Parker & Sons.
A shout out to Red Mountain football fans. This is head coach Mike Peterson. From me to you, I invite you to listen to the Lions Den podcast each week, hosted by Red Mountain football play-by-play voice Kevin Derryberry, the K-Man. We will talk Mountain Lion football in depth after each game. Highlights, player interviews, chalk talk, and the Parker & Sons Varsity Player of the Week. Listen to the Lions Den. And hey, don't be that guy.
Money, 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 money.
We welcome you back.
Oh, man.
Where's our technical producer? Where's Jeremy Knudsen tonight? The fellas in the truck. Good halftime show. Enjoy that one, JP. Did have some good conversation.
Always good comedy up here in the booth. Always fun.
Did have some good conversation with some folks up here in the booth asking what we were doing. And I thought to myself, you know, you would think at
what
this
are
point,
we?
No, you would think, though, with the Red Mountain contingent, 3,600 student body, that people would know about the broadcast and the effort behind that, the Lions Den podcast. You would think there'd be a little more notoriety within this group here as Connor Gardner swings that right leg through it. High, deep, end-over-end kick goes into the end zone, and that's how we begin the second half. 17-0, James, when you look at the first half. Always start with the quarterback, Darren Smith. A pretty solid first half. Don't have his first half numbers, but it seemed like at certain points at the time he didn't necessarily read all of his progressions.
Yeah, he didn't really go through the progressions as you would like him to. Forced a couple of footballs into double, sometimes triple coverage down near the goal line. So he'll try to get that short up here and make a few more heady plays from his quarterback position.
This will be Manny Collier. They'll start on the ground this time, and they'll run a little sweep, a little counter play. And that's the same tailback, Victor Sanchez once again, but he ran right into number 2, Evan Omta.
Yeah, Omta coming up from the safety position there, doing a nice job in run support for Red Mountain. But a nice pickup there for Victor Sanchez running up that, running inside the tackles.
Gain of 5 for Sanchez. Seemed like a forever long halftime here on senior night from Westwood High. 11:24 and counting. Second half action. Shaq Daniels starts at the boundary position. This is Collier on the rollout. Looks like he wants to throw. He does throw. He just kind of flips that one down to his brother, Johnny Collier, making the catch at the 40-yard line. That's a gain of 14 yards from one Collier to the other. Manny to Johnny. And here we go.
Yeah, nice connection there for the Colliers. We got the Collier fan club here right below the booth. And they were very elated about that. We got the pom-poms going in the air, and that was a nice connection there for the Collier brothers.
You know, Manny can spin it. He's got a really nice release, and he throws a very nice spiral. We mentioned a gain of 14 yards. Manny Collier to Johnny Collier. 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line of Westwood, moving right to left. 4 down linemen for Red Mountain. Here comes Jansen on the ball carrier, and they string him out to run right into Vasquez, and also their initial contact, number 22, Georgie Ramirez right there. Great defense there, great team defense, and the speed of the edge just denied the ball carrier that time.
Yeah, once again, Georgie Ramirez coming up there and making the form tackle. Braden Jansen as well in on that stop there for Red Mountain. And if you're Kyle Enders, you got to be happy about the way that your defense is swarming the football.
Playing very, very well. Playing without one of their better players. Number 6, IT, the it factor, Isaac Thompson, dislocated elbow, out for the season. Another tough blow for this unit. And another chance to show how resilient they are. This is Sanchez again, and gets to that second level, but that is some tough sledding down there in the trenches there. Looked like Francis Kumi was there along with, I believe, Anthony Giraldi. Finally got in on the mix here in this one, but that was a physical run there, but even more physical play by this defense by the Mountain Lions.
Yeah, Sanchez is a hard runner, 5'7", 185, knows how to run with great pad level, and nice stop there for the Red Mountain defense. Number 48, Major Kelly, in on that one as well.
Give him 2. 3rd and 5 from the 45-yard line. Collier in the Wildcat. High snap. Here comes the blitz by Red Mountain. The blitz is picked up, and the pass thrown over the middle. Incomplete. Ramirez in coverage. The pass intended for Derek Horn, but a nice job by the blitz pickup by the blocking group up front in front of Manny Collier, but the pressure was on the way, and it was a little too hot to handle that time.
Yeah, too many guys to block that time for Westwood, and too much pressure on the quarterback. Collier had to force that one. Errant pass there, and it's going to be a punt coming up for Westwood.
Here comes Manny Collier once again to punt. He does everything. Great hands, great athleticism, and that great leg. This is Molina inside his own 20 from the 17. With a blocker out to the front, here comes a penalty marker flag. And Zach Molina is spun down and thrown out of bounds on the far sideline. Coming up to make that tackle for Westwood, number 18 it looked like. And I don't have him on the Westwood roster. So we'll go with Rolando Enriquez. My spotter, James Poovey. Nice job right there. A little difficult to see that number coming up from that tackle. Either way, on the change of possession, Red Mountain will begin their first offensive series of the second half. 9:14 to go. Darren Smith all the way at quarterback behind him. Looks like it's Jarquell Garner to start the second half at tailback with Zach Molina to the near side and Clem Reese-Peebles to the far side. The sounds of the chicken dance here at Westwood High. Always a crowd favorite. That's what I mentioned.
And they're throwing rubber chickens up into the crowd right now.
That's what I mentioned about the ambiance here. They're having a good time. Whether they're playing well on the football field or not, they're having a good time here in the stands at Westwood High. So Smith under center, the turn to give to Garner, breaks a tackle in the backfield and is going to be upended, and he will be tackled for a loss.
Boy, nice job by that Westwood front that time, forcing the action back to the inside where they had linebacker and other defensive tackle help, and not much doing that time for Red Mountain's offense.
Nice job defensively by the Westwood Warriors. Now they come up with that tackler right there. Second and 11, penalty marker down. Play never even happened, James. Procedure penalty assessed to Red Mountain. On that previous play, it was number 52, Daniel Lerma, came in there to make the tackle. 5'7", 190. Pretty good sized kid right there. 190 pounds at 5'7".
Yeah, good-sized kid. Daniel Lerma plays offensive line and defensive line. He's a junior for the Westwood squad.
So Ethan Neely will have to come off this field for this play. And the trainer went out and grabbed him. So this will be a second, and we'll call it 16 yards from the 29-yard line of Red Mountain. Under center, it's Darren Smith. There goes McClure in motion. Straight drop back. Winding up is the quarterback, Smith, and he's looking for Molina, and boy, that ball was dropped right in between the defenders. What a pretty pass, and Molina unable to haul that one in, right off the fingertips.
Yeah, that ball was right there. What a brilliant pass by Darren Smith. He had pressure coming from the backside, able to step up in the pocket and deliver that one on time to Zach Molina, but unfortunately he was not able to haul it in, and now they're going to have to deal with this third down and long.
The D-Train, fresh off that 16-18, 270-yard, 4-touchdown game last week, just dropped in another beaut, but Molina unable to bring that one in. So this will bring up a 3rd and 16 from the 29-yard line. Out of the gun, this time it's Darren Smith. Winds up, fires over the middle field, caught at the 40-yard line by Molina. Makes the move to the 45 to the 50, and he's out across the 45-yard line. He's got the first down and a lot more, and a penalty marker comes in from the back judge. But that was a great play from Darren Smith to Zach Molina, and boy, did he make another great move to free himself up for another 20 yards after the catch.
Indeed, yards after the catch that time for Zach Molina. A nicely thrown ball there for Darren Smith, and Zach Molina able to make it happen for Red Mountain and pick up the additional yardage.
So it's a gain of 30 yards, but it looks like some of this is coming back. So it's a dead ball personal foul assessed to Red Mountain, holding assessed to Westwood, and they're going to replay the down, James Poovey. And I don't know if that's a break for either team, but it does negate a 30-plus yard gain from Darren Smith to Zach Molina.
Well, Molina will not be pleased about it, but I really wasn't sure what the call was on that one. Oh, offsetting penalties. Looks like they're going to replay the down.
Joe Anderson, the referee tonight for the AIA, working with Scott Adams and Rod Walker, working with Bo Adams and Dave Taysom. So there it is, the voice of Westwood, Bob Boxley, with that patented third down call here from Westwood High at Brimhall Field. So they'll replay it. 3rd and 16 from Darren Smith. From the pocket, throwing deep, looking for Rivera, and the ball is overthrown by about 3 yards. Good things to take away there. Good protection up front for Smith, And Ramses Rivera, we mentioned that he is back and ran another really crisp route that time and was just unable to catch that football.
Yeah, number 28, Joss Franco in coverage, 5'8", 162-pound DB for Westwood. He had great defensive position, and unfortunately, Ramses Rivera unable to come up with that ball from Darren Smith.
So, I love the play call by Coach Lamar and Coach Andriatis to dial it up deep. And with that 17-0 lead, they can afford to take some chances. So this will be Gunner from his own 15. Great snap there by Puglia. And Gunner sends one up into the sky. This is Collier from the 42-yard line. He makes a fair catch. And JP right there, the one time I might suggest that Collier made a mistake right there, because had he decided to field that football as he caught that one on the run, he had a lot of green grass in front of him.
Yeah, there was no one over there, and he has a ton of speed. He could have really gotten up the field really quickly, but unfortunately did not field that one.
So Manny Collier back out onto the field. He's the do-it-everything athlete for Westwood. 168 yards receiving and 3 more touchdowns to go along with the 727 on the ground and 6 rushing touchdowns. 9 touchdowns on the campaign. Working right to left, it's Manny Collier out of the Wildcat. Wants to throw the football to the near side, and he's just going to run out of bounds. And here comes a late penalty marker. In fact, 2 flags came in late. Alexander Randall on the pursuit, and we'll see what this one's all about. What'd you see there, JP?
Well, number 9, Braden Jansen, was coming up to make the ultimate stop on the ball carrier. Looks like it was going to be against Westwood. They were beat to the edge, and that flag might have come from the other side, and that's an unfortunate penalty for Westwood, because that would have not affected the play whatsoever. You got to let those guys go when they're on the backside. Don't hold them.
And the referee and the umpire both came in simultaneously with that infraction. So Westwood moved back again, and that's what we've seen here thus far here in the first half. Little couple yards forward, 4 yards backwards. So Hiram Bourne has checked in at a linebacker spot. This is Collier. Here comes Red Mountain. They're showing blitz. They run it to Sanchez, and he's looking for a hole, and they're going to just stand him up. Runs right into Major Kelly and Alexander Randall. Here comes a late flag. Johnny Collier is curious as to why the flag was thrown. It looks like this one might be going against Westwood just by the reaction of his body language, but it was a very late arriving flag.
Yeah, very late indeed. Looks like another personal foul. This one's going to be against Red Mountain. Wow.
So they're going to go double personal fouls. And we'll probably replay first down once again. So there's that is a tit-for-tat scenario right there. What's going on at the 2A game out at SCA?
Looks like it's halftime, 28-21, Phoenix Christian on top. A rash of personal fouls here at Westwood.
Pretty good crowd on hand here as the Red Mountain contingent made their way down the road. So the ball is spotted on the 29-yard line of Westwood. This will be first and almost 30 yards, so it looks. Collier out of the gun, from the pocket, winds up, throwing deep, looking for the target, caught on the far sideline. It's Driggs, 30, 20, 10, and brought down inside the 5-yard line. What a big tackle there on the far sideline, a touchdown-saving tackle by Red Mountain. That is Evan Alpta, and what a pass there by Manny Collier. He hit Driggs out there, and he hit him in stride. Another penalty marker on the field.
Wow, a design rollout that time for Westwood. Collier able to get out of the pocket, set his feet, square his shoulders to the line of scrimmage, and deliver a beautiful pass down the football field. Number 15, Will Driggs, high pointing that football, coming down with it, and nearly housing it for the Warriors. If it wasn't for Evan Alpta making a shoestring tackle there at the 5-yard line, it would have been 6 points for the Warriors.
Unofficially a gain of 67 yards. Manny Collier to Will Driggs, 6 foot, $165, hightailing it down the sideline. And again, as James described, Evan Alpta right there to defend the goal line here and continue to keep that donut up there on the scoreboard for Westwood. So after the long run, penalties assessed to Westwood on the game. And this Westwood fan base here very disgruntled right now.
Indeed, they are. A lot of them on their feet. They cannot believe that call there after a wonderful play by their Warrior. But nonetheless, that ball backed up to the 30 for Westwood.
Boy, if Manny Collier just concentrated on playing quarterback, he'd probably be a darn good one. He can throw a pretty ball.
He can indeed. He's got a beautiful spiral, beautiful touch on the football as well.
So here comes Stainer lined up to the near side. It is Payne. They fake it to Rojas. This is Stainer. He scrambles, throws. The ball is nearly batted down. I think it was tipped at the line of scrimmage by Hiram Boren.
Yeah, Boren right in his face that time, coming up the field, staying in his rush lane, and forcing that errant pass from Stainer, trying to get it out into the flat there for the Warriors.
So Manny Collier took that play off. So number 6 back on the field along with number 1, Johnny Collier. Westwood trails it 17-0. Clock stopped at 6:49 to go, third quarter. East Valley Region football game. Westwood and Red Mountain. Warriors on the drive here. They got it inside the 5, only to be negated by a penalty. Now Red Mountain showing blitz. Here they come. Off the edge, it's Ramirez. Great blitz pickup. Pass complete to Collier inside the 25-yard line, and he's dropped immediately. Great pursuit by Giraldi and friends, and Tanner Goodchild all over that play, eating up Johnny Collier.
Yeah, Manny Collier, another nice football there. He threw in a double coverage that time, connecting with his brother Johnny Collier. A nice pickup for Westwood. Going to leave him a couple yards short of the first down, but nonetheless a nice connection there for the Collier brothers.
Gain of 7, 2nd and 3 from the 23-yard line. For the first time tonight, the Red Mountain Lion defenders with their hands on their hips here, just a little bit trying to catch their breath.
They've been on the field for quite a bit here on this drive, Kevin.
Even 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. Collier has Sanchez flanked to his right. 2 wide receivers to the near side. Under a blitz. Collier going for the end zone, and the ball is batted down. Great coverage in the corner by, I believe it was Jesus Vasquez. Working on Driggs again. Now it's Tanner Goodchild. And Tanner Goodchild is on the ground in the back of the end zone by the far pylon. Appears to be in some discomfort.
Yeah, a heady play there by Tanner Goodchild. Had the presence to turn his head and make sure and play the football, not to get the pass interference call there in the end zone, and ultimately able to bat that one away. But as you mentioned, he is on the turf, but it looks like he's up under his own power here.
Going for Driggs again, trying to finish off that scoring drive. And you see Mike Peterson out there in the end zone checking on his player. I'm just speculating here. I'm wondering if it wasn't maybe an injury to a finger or a potential dislocation as he kind of threw his hand up there and batted that ball down. Perhaps the ball hit one of his digits and didn't react so good.
Indeed, it could have been a jam finger or something like that. Maybe get it caught in the face mask as he tried to swing around and defend that pass there. But a great job in the end zone for Tanner Goodchild.
Westwood needs the 20 to move the sticks. This is Manny Collier with a 3 wide receiver package. Back to throw, under pressure, steps up, he's going to be dropped down and he's going to be sacked. Red Mountain came there on a blitz. Braden Jansen, the baby thumper, got there to lay down the thump.
Nice job getting through Braden Jansen from the linebacker position. Red Mountain brought the defenders that time. Not enough guys up front to block it for Westwood, and a nice job in defense there and getting that turnover on downs for Red Mountain.
Carlos Pena shaking up a bit on the interior for the Westwood Warriors. And Kyle Enders dialed up a blitz, and he got great penetration. And Manny Collier usually has a little bit of time, and all he needs is a split second and just a small amount of space, and he can maneuver with anybody, but not that time. Just too much pressure and too many numbers to stop.
Yeah, great job getting up the field in a hurry by Red Mountain's defense.
1st and 10 for the 30 on the change of possession. Smith off the play fake, fires over the middle of the field, caught by Pearson at the 40 to the 50, and he's into Westwood territory around the 37-yard line. Oh, big play over the middle of the field. Derek Smith to the tight end, Michael Pearson.
What a great job, and credit as well that time to the back, in the backfield there, picking up that blitz very nicely. That was number 35, Ty McElroy, standing in there and providing the protection for his quarterback.
Gain of 26 yards to Michael Pearson, doing his best Carter Wheat impersonation right there. So Smith lines him up on line of scrimmage. Under center, the turn, the give to, looks like it's T-Mac, and T-Mac's going to be swarmed under and taken out. Great penetration by the Westwood Warriors that time, and that is Ty McElroy. Now you can see the youngster wearing 35, and we get the story when he did the elbow earlier in the year, they had to cut his jersey off, James Poovey, and that means the 23 is no longer.
Yeah, they're going to have to order a new one of those for him, and he's wearing 35 tonight. They couldn't really get outside that time. As soon as he got the ball, those defenders were right in his lap.
Westwood doing a nice job of penetrating that time. This is Smith under center, and there's more movement up front. How about Michael Pearson just trying to get himself healthy, and now he's got himself a role on this football team, the starting tight end. And when you see him get loose over the middle of the field, you start to think to yourself, yet another weapon for this offense?
Yeah, just what they need, right? Another weapon, but he is a valuable one, and they're going to need him. They need a solid tight end, not only in the blocking running game, but to catch those passes and those short underneath routes as well for Red Mountain.
Going into the game, and he had one catch. He's got 3 tonight. Having himself a ball game. Michael Pearson, he wore number 77 last year. So here comes Darren Smith working left to right, and it looks like Saucedo. Well, check that. Somebody had to run off for Red Mountain. Like 76, Costin Cooley. It's nice to see Costin, who's had that bum ankle, get a little playing time tonight. Red Mountain's doing all the right things here this evening, trying to integrate players that have been banged up and guys that are trying to work their way back in the lineup, like Costin Cooley and Ty McElroy. We'll see Deontay Elliott next week in the postseason. Good Lord willing. There goes McClure in motion. The turnaround, they give it to Garner up the middle, and he's going to lower the shoulder and just drive those legs forward, pick off about 5 yards on that carry, and had just a little bit of a crease right there, James, but he hit that hole very hard.
Yeah, he did. Jarquil Garner, an excellent run that time. He ran right into Rayvon Williamson. A big collision there in the middle of the field, but a nice carry there for Garner.
Rayvon Williamson having himself a ball game here tonight.
He's a load. 5'10", 215, and he can move his feet.
Am I going to have a good time tomorrow night?
Oh, boy.
Darren Smith, under center. Play fake. Rolls out near side. Dumps off to McClure at the 30. Lowers the shoulder out to the 25-yard line. And that's where he's going to be dropped right there. Looks like number 40 on that play. Rayvon Williamson again, and among friends look like, so I'm not going to have a good time tomorrow night. Or we go to the 10th in Los Angeles in a 1-1 tie.
Oh,
wow.
boy.
Wow. All the difference in the world is about tonight.
Yes, sir.
Game 4 is electric if they can win tonight. 17-0 Red Mountain. Trying to hold off this upstart Westwood Warrior team. There goes McClure in motion. They show blitz on a play fake. It's Darren Smith. And he avoids the pressure, and he throws a strike out to Zach Molina, still on his feet, inside the red zone, and he is still on his feet around the 10, and he's going to be tackled around the 5-yard line. And if you've ever seen anybody jump rope with a pace and with a flurry, Zach Molina demonstrates some fancy footwork right there.
What an excellent job that time. Number 46, Michael Pearson, staying in there in pass protection, getting that chip block on the blitz, providing time for Darren Smith to barely get rid of that football. He got it to the outside, and Zach Molina must have shook about 4 or 5 tackles on that one before they finally brought him down near the 5-yard line. Wow.
So the Mountain Lions set up with a 1st and goal to go. The deep back appears to be T-Mac. He gets the carry, bounces it outside, and he's going to be tackled around the 5-yard line. Ty McElroy, wearing number 35 with that brace on his left elbow, suffered a dislocation about 6 weeks ago, has been working hard, and he's finding himself back on the playing field, got cleared this week, practiced this week, and here he is tonight on a Friday night, James.
Boy, imagine a healthier Ty McElroy and getting Deontay Elliott back. That'll be valuable for Red Mountain.
Garner running off right tackle, and he plunges into the end zone for a touchdown. In fact, Jockwell Garner was untouched running off that right tackle right behind Carson Foster, and he plunges in for his 9th rushing touchdown of the year for the Mountain Lions. Patriot Pups, touchdown Red Mountain. They lead it 23-0.
Now designed off tackle play that time, a seal block there for the guard, clearing out, trying to get up to the second level. He scrapes up for a linebacker. The tackle will kick out the end and push him, take him wherever he wants to go. If he wants to go upfield, he'll run him upfield, and a big hole there for Jarquell Garner. Excellent job.
The domination by this offensive line continues here this evening. Good snap, placement down. The kick is up, and it is good. 2:20 to go in this third quarter. Our score, Red Mountain improves their lead to 24-0. And, James, this time they did it with a little smash mouth running the football.
Indeed, they put their head down and ran the football that time. A lot of nice runs on that drive there. But ultimately, Jarquell Garner able to punch it in for the Mountain Lions, and they extend that lead. They're doing a great job.
Another 20-plus yard pass play from Darren Smith to Zach Molina. And Molina, who really set that play up inside the 10-yard line, that footwork that he demonstrates is just something you can't teach at all.
Very nimble, very nimble. You can tell he's been doing a lot of work on the ropes during practice, and he's able to keep his balance. And he's done a great job of securing the football as well tonight, trying not losing it in a lot of traffic.
I can't believe that game is 1-1 in the 10th.
I bet.
Talk about something that's going to make it either a wonderful drive or just a downright crummy road trip. Fireworks off in the background.
Oh, there you go.
From Westwood. Gardner, another great kick by Connor Gardner. This one bounces at the 2, rolls into the end zone for another touchback for the special teamer. This junior place kicker for Red Mountain just continues to be a contributor, and he makes it look easy.
Yeah, Connor Gardner, a very strong leg. And once again, he puts his defense in excellent position here. That ball's going to be at the 20-yard line as Westwood starts this drive. Regardless of what happens tonight, you're still going to have a good time tomorrow. What's the go-to eatery for you when you get out to L.A.? That's what I want to know.
Well, in this particular case, we always stop in Banning for a little grub at a restaurant called Grandma's. That's kind of like the pick-me-up, the tune-up right there. Here's a pass play out into the flat. This is Collier making the reception. And how about Hiram Boren? They're rushing the passer, putting up those hands. He darn near batted that one down before Evan Alta came there to make up the tackle. But nice play there as Westwood picks up 5 yards on first down. So we always take that stop in Banning, California. It's about a 4-hour drive from Phoenix. Good pit stop, great food, and then you're 2 hours away from Los Angeles. You're right there. And speaking of Hiram Boren, there he is for a tackle for a loss. Hiram Boren off that edge, read the play perfectly, and he got in the backfield and just took out the legs of Joshua McClintock.
Yeah, Hiram Boren in the last 2 plays has basically been unblockable, and he's quietly had a huge game here for Red Mountain. He hasn't had a whole lot on the stat sheet. Obviously, that one will go on the stat sheet, but he's been running plays down from the backside and forcing the issue a lot here this evening for the Red Mountain defense.
He came in there scot-free.
Indeed, indeed.
I've been waiting to use that one for a little while. Scot-free, Hiram Boren. Here comes Collier. Red Mountain showing blitz. Here they come, and Collier's pass is incomplete. The ball was trapped, looking for Driggs again, and I like how that kid Driggs plays this game of football, but unable to catch that one, and again, relentless pressure up front by this Red Mountain front 4.
Yeah, they're coming. They're getting in the face of the quarterback and making him throw it earlier. He's not able to set. He's having to throw a little bit off his back foot, a little more air underneath it than he would like. But a nice effort there from Driggs as well. He was not giving up on that football.
Special thank you to Mesa Youth Football and Cheer, proud to serve the children of our community on and off the field. Mesa Youth Football and Cheer. Collier going to punt it, and he drills this one to Molina. Molina from the 45-yard line, midfield to the 50, to the 40, and he's going to be grabbed down there on the 40-yard line. Nice special teams tackle there made by Westwood, but taking the brunt of that one was Carlos Jaime, and Zach Molina delivers a little form of punishment right there.
Yeah, he did indeed, but he has got some wheels. He's able to get up there and hit the gas, hit the Jets on that one, and he is a valuable asset for Red Mountain in the return game.
Zemo has returned a punt last year for a touchdown, but he's yet to house one this year. But to his credit, with the scheming and the coaching and whatnot, they don't give as many chances. But tonight he's had a few opportunities. Darren Smith on a play fake. Steps up, out of pressure, evades the pressure, still on his feet, and he throws down the middle of the field, and it's incomplete. Looking for Michael Pearson on the 20-yard line, and you talk about being nimble on your feet. How about the quarterback evading that pressure right there, because Westwood did bring pressure on that play.
Yeah, Darren Smith got a very strong lower body, able to keep himself upright under a lot of duress there, and able to keep his eyes down the football field the whole time trying to find the open receiver. He was almost able to force that one in there to Pearson, but it did fall incomplete.
With the incomplete pass, the clock stops with 65 seconds to go in this third quarter. T-Mac is the deep back. There goes McClure in motion. Westwood showing blitz. Short drop for Smith. Pass complete to Clem Reese-Peebles. Makes a move at the 35-yard line into the 30 and across the 20, 15 to the 10, and he's going to be tackled right there. Boy, these wide receivers for Red Mountain are very fleet of foot, and what they do after the catch, James, has been impressive.
How about that motor there for Clem Reese-Peebles, the Slim Reaper, able to hit the Jets on that one and take off himself. A lot of speed on this football team.
A lot of speed, and it's the second effort. It's the moves, too. Jitterbug-like action by Clem Reese-Peebles. His second catch of the night. So Darren Smith has Parker McClure lined up at tight end. He'll take the snap under center. The play fake. Smith rolls out, has McClure in the flat, makes the catch at the 8, bolts over the defender, and trucks into the end zone for a touchdown. His first varsity touchdown reception in that young man's career. That's freshman Parker McClure, and he just bulldozes into the end zone. Pater pops, touchdown, Parker McClure. One more touchdown pass for Darren Smith, his third of the night.
Wasn't that a great play? Parker McClure had a guy coming up to assault him in the flat there one-on-one. He took him on, lowered his headgear, kept it to the outside, able to dip underneath him and get in there for the touchdown. Nice job, young man.
Dip and rip, Parker McClure, and that is a truck job right there. Good snap, good hold, and Connor Gardner swings that right leg through and just splits the uprights at the 30.8 mark of this third quarter, as Red Mountain leads it now 31-0. And a late penalty marker comes in. We heard the whoop, we heard the yip in there, and I got excited at the
unsportsmanlike conduct on Westwood. So the frustration sets in here for the Warriors.
They're starting to come unglued here. Last week we mentioned that the Mesa Jackrabbits accumulated only 18 rushing yards. They were 1 of 12 on third down. Well, Red Mountain's defense is just swarming right now, and they're playing as well as they've had all season.
Yeah, the front four really gets it done up front. They're able to clog up the middle and allow the linebackers to flow side to side and make plays. They always do a great job of keeping outside contained, especially with those defensive ends, Kumi and Alexander Randall on the other side, and not much lately over the past couple of weeks for any of these opposing running games.
Here's a number for you, James. In the last 3 games, Darren Smith has passed for 7 touchdowns.
Wow.
4 last week, 3 tonight. Count them up, that's 7. And how about it for Parker McClure? We're going to say his name an awful lot here in the Red Mountain lore as we move along. Parker McClure, a true freshman with his first ever varsity touchdown here. And he is a talented, talented player, is Parker McClure, as his teammate Josiah Villanueva. We have yet to see Josiah tonight. But after that penalty is marked off, Gardner's going to have a short field to work with here. And I always thought if I'm a place kicker and I can spot the ball there, I'm trying to drill it through the uprights. That's just what I'm trying to do.
Set the record. I wonder what the high school record is for a field goal.
They pooch it again, and the ball takes a carom. It's loose. Ball is on the turf. There's a scrum for the football, and Ramses Rivera is right there in the fray. He says Red Mountain's got it, and they do have the football.
Wow, what a great play on special teams there. They were able to get down and cover that kick.
Jared Butler is right there to recover that fumble on special teams. There's another tailback that's down there on the depth chart, but he makes a contribution any way he can. When he gets a chance to tote the rock, he's very effective doing that. But seeing him get down there, make that play, and then recover the fumble, that's awesome.
Yeah, great job by Butler on special teams. He's able to run the football, as you mentioned, and he's also catches it out of the backfield as well for the Mountain Lions.
31-0, 26.7 ticks remain in this third quarter. This looks like Charlie Hola taking the snap, and Hola will go right up the middle. So Charlie Hola in a Wildcat package takes that snap. And you don't see that every day, James Poovey.
A direct snap to double fives.
Hola, 6'3", 227. You got to figure that he's been asking for the rock in practice for the last 9 weeks for him to get that carry here at the 31-0 mark as time expires in this third quarter. First 36 minutes in the books here from Brimhall Field from Westwood High School. We move to the fourth quarter. Our score, Red Mountain 31, Westwood 0. Fourth quarter coming up right after this.
A proud sponsor of your Phoenix Suns and Arizona Coyotes.
Parker & Sons.
A partner with your Arizona Diamondbacks and contributor to the D-Backs Give Back Foundation.
Parker & Sons.
A proud sponsor, donator, and volunteer for Arizona's Special Olympics.
Parker & Sons.
Parker is one of the most community-driven companies in Phoenix. A local family-operated company with award-winning installations and service for all your AC, plumbing, electrical, or water softener needs. Call 602-2-REPAIR. That's 602, the number 2, REPAIR for Parker & Sons.
We welcome you back to Westwood High. Kevin Derryberry alongside James Poovey on Red Mountain TV on the Red Mountain Football Broadcast Network on YouTube, 31-0. Darren Smith with 3 more touchdown passes tonight. Jarquell Garner rushes one in for his 9th rushing touchdown. Georgie Ramirez a receiving touchdown. Ramses Rivera a 33-yard touchdown. And Parker McClure that last touchdown. What a night offensively for Red Mountain. Hey, with 12 minutes to go, if you're Mike Peterson, you want to hit 40 again if you can.
Yes, indeed. You want to get those young players some reps here, and you want to don't let your foot off the gas here. Keep everything going. You want to try to execute some plays, maybe try a few things that you've been wanting to work on, maybe dial something in for the postseason and use the extra plays to your advantage.
Let's get Charlie Hola in there, and Hola's going to take the snap. He's going to rumble into the end zone. He'll be spotted short, running behind Parker McClure. Penalty marker thrown on the field. And this is something that you could completely predict. You want to get Charlie Hola some snaps at quarterback so you could get that on film. Right, James? I mean, that's just something you're looking to do.
Exactly. That's what you want. And that's I'm sure Charlie won't mind having that in there, especially if he's able to plunge that one in. But unfortunately, it looks like it's going to come back a few yards.
So Anthony Giraldi's also in that full house backfield. And Giraldi shaking hands on the field. So Giraldi running for president down there, glad handing and palm pressing. He's petitioning for something, is Anthony Giraldi.
Election's coming up soon. You never know.
It is the political time of the year, no doubt about it. I'm still struggling on that McSally and Cinema bit right now. Really hung up on that one. I don't know who's telling the truth, to be honest with you. So Rivera will line up to the near side. Calemres Peebles to the outside, and the man with the ripped shirt, Zach Molina. This is Hola again, running at the left tackle. He's going to bust through to the 10 to the 5. He's going to score a touchdown. Charlie Hola from 13 yards out off the Wildcat snap. He busts into the end zone for a rushing touchdown. Paydirt pops touchdown, Charlie Hola.
How much fun is that? Charlie Hola gets the direct snap and gets it in the end zone that time. A nice job up blocking up front by his comrades, and they forced the issue and got him in there.
Rayvon Williamson, he is the player that's shaken up. He has had a huge night for the Warriors tonight. They've already lost the big fella, and he was lost earlier in the game. That was Kristen Quashie. So the Warriors can ill afford to lose any more of their interior linemen here tonight, James.
Yeah, it looks like the way he was grabbing the back of his leg is probably a serious cramp. We'll see if he's okay. We'll keep an eye on him on the near sideline here.
To the best of our knowledge, that's Charlie Holman's first ever rushing touchdown here for the Red Mountain Mountain Lions. And it's now 37-0, the extra point upcoming here. Good snap, good placement, and Connor Gardner makes it look very easy right down the middle. At 11:35 to go, it's now 38-0 Mountain Lions, and Coach Anders' defense still posting up that donut.
Yeah, the defense doing an outstanding job here tonight. Bend but don't break, as you mentioned, and they have not given up very much at all to Westwood here tonight. Been very stout in the run game and doing a nice job in coverage as well.
JP, here's a number for you. Coach Kyle Anders has been the defensive coordinator under Mike Peterson for 2 years, and they have posted 2 shutouts. Richard Taylor, the head coach of the Centennial Coyotes, in his tenure as head coach, has pitched 65 shutouts.
Remarkable.
Their defense is unstoppable. You cannot score on Centennial's defense. They are the 5A favorite once again, and Hamilton's taking on Chandler, I believe, tonight. Big game.
Yep.
Chandler and Hamilton. And does Hamilton have enough? Can Hamilton get into the postseason by way of the power points and those 3 victories?
It's going to be interesting tomorrow.
Big day at Famous Dave's, the AIA.
Will you be tuned into that on the road?
I will not be. The signal will not be that strong out there.
You can stream that on your cellular device there, Mr. Derryberry.
More than likely, I will be dialed in a little college pigskin on that travel. Or, to be honest with you, I could very well be listening to the replay of the Westwood
and
Red
Mountain game. Now you're talking.
Hearing my colleague James Poovey and what he does. I always enjoy hearing him calling at the game. And it is interesting when you are on the road for 5-6 hours, what you like to do for entertainment, right?
Yes.
Listen to a couple games, listen to a few things here and there. But enough of that. I've heard plenty of myself. Like to tell Google, say, just play all the James Poovey cuts for me, would you please?
You're welcome to watch any of the Ottawa replays. They're available online. I could also provide you with said login.
Are they in a highlight pack? If I have to hunt through the highlights,
they are not. That's our current issue.
Got to get there. Collier takes the snap, and he tries to spin out of a tackle. He can't do it. Georgie Ramirez is down there, still playing as physical now as he did when this game started, and that's what Georgie Ramirez does. He only knows of one mode, and that's 150 miles an hour.
Yeah, he is a heck of a football player. Georgie Ramirez, not only in offense but defense. He even does it on special teams for the Mountain Lions.
Luis Arredondo has checked in for Red Mountain. Also in the ball game, number 50. So we'll find out who that is. This is a delay, and they go right up the middle with it. Making the tackle for Red Mountain was Zach Molina, and carrying the football was Victor Sanchez. It also looked like another new body got in there, and there's a couple of numbers we just don't have on our roster, but I'm sure that somebody has made note of that, and they will get us a new roster prior to kickoff next Friday night in that second season, James.
Yeah, it's going to be a great one. We'll find out where we end up next Friday night. Begins the playoffs. The postseason will be underway. And we got some games on our slate already. We'll see how far Red Mountain takes it.
Speculation could be Queen Creek, could very well be Mountain Point. Red Mountain could get high as number 9. So this is Collier going to work from his own 25-yard line. Here comes the blitz, and Collier throws it to wide open Johnny Collier at the 50, and he's going to step out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Boy, there was pressure coming from the backside for Red Mountain. And Collier does a nice job of escaping that pressure with his speed, and he threw a beautiful ball to his brother Johnny on the run, and Johnny just, unfortunately for him, couldn't stay in bounds.
Yeah, he just had too much momentum going towards the sideline there. Couldn't gather himself and stay in bounds. Otherwise, he would have been off to the races as there was no one in front of him. But you mentioned that backside pressure from Red Mountain. Once again, they forced Collier out of the pocket and make him throw on the run.
He delivered a strike to Johnny, to JC, a gain of 27 yards. And for Johnny, if he had any type of body control on that particular pass play, he could have kept himself in bounds and he would have run straight to the goal line.
Yeah, he'd still be running out the back of the end zone there. But a nice connection there for the Collier brothers. They're moving the football here with 10 minutes to go in the fourth. 10 minutes to go in the regular season. Hard to believe it.
So earlier this week, former ASU head football coach Todd Graham made a visit to the campus of Red Mountain High School and spent the day with the boys and just talked about coaching football and some do's and don'ts, and talked about the hunger of the game and being a leader. And what a refreshing visit it was from Todd Graham, now kind of an ambassador of sorts, still very much involved in football and wants to coach again at the next level. So we'll keep an eye on that. But Todd Graham made a visit to Red Mountain High School and had a great time, and Red Mountain really was deserving of that, and they enjoyed the visit. Great play again up the middle. Georgie Ramirez right there to make the tackle, shoot the gap, and just took the legs out of Victor Sanchez, because that's what Georgie Ramirez does. He's just a playmaker.
He is a playmaker, and you know what? When you're 5'10", 170, and you play at the level like him, you have to have good technique, and that right there was a perfect wrap-up textbook tackle at the line of scrimmage.
From a safety position, usually playing about 15 yards off the ball, that closing speed that he plays with, and the anticipation that you can't teach, and the read and react, he just does it all the time.
Very rarely overruns the play either.
Collier takes the snap, finds a little crease, and it'll go up the middle of the football field. And he was tackled there by Major Kelly. And there's a whole bunch of new football players out there. When I see 53, I can't think, but just think about Delton Jackson for just a minute. But we know that's not D-Jacks down there. Number 50 and 53, newcomers, perhaps up from the junior varsity squad.
Unless that jersey's brand new, that 53 has seen some action.
That's for sure. It's not easy to just get another jersey from a high school point of view, but you think they got one on order for 23. I think Ty McElway looks good in that 23.
Indeed.
Collier, big hole, right side 40. Out to the outside. There's Arredondo to chase him down, and Manny Collier is taking out a tackler around the 20-yard line. He took on Evan Almta, and Evan Almta with a little hitch in his giddy-up as he walked back to the huddle.
Yeah, that was a blow delivered on the outside there by Collier, but Almta was able to step up on him at the sideline and ultimately knock him out of bounds for the stop.
Collier has that ability to deliver some punishment, and he is just one of those slobber knocker type kids. He'll pack it and hit you hard. 38-0, clock stop with 8:28 to go. Westwood having a sustained drive here, approaching the red zone. They have not been in the red zone, but maybe one time tonight. It's been all Red Mountain here in this one. Looks like we'll go to the 11th in Los Angeles. Collier to the air, looking for his receiver, and it's batted down and broken up by Jesus Vasquez. Looking for Christian Payne, and Vasquez does a great job of putting his hand in there and stripping that football out.
What an outstanding job. He did not give up on the play the entire time. Waited till the receiver had both hands on it and simply pulled it out of there for the incompletion. A nice defensive back play there for Red Mountain.
One of the things that Todd Graham talked about was, he said, if you want to make a difference in this world, you can get up at 4:30 in the morning and start your day then. And you think about that. I asked Coach Peterson about that. He said 2 or 3 kids he saw on Instagram or Twitter or Snapchat, one of those social media devices, that, hey, a couple kids set their alarm for 4:30. Collier rolls out near side, throws a strike, and it's caught at the 15-yard line. Making the catch was Driggs once again, and Manny Collier with that quick release threw a bullet that time, and Driggs made a great catch on that crossing route.
Yeah, Driggs has got stickum on his hands. It seems like here tonight he's made a number of outstanding catches for Westwood. And once again, Manny Collier, you talked about the velocity earlier in the game, and he can really throw that football and deliver a strike when it needs to.
Collier, 5'10", 175. The height's not getting him, will not get him a job at starting quarterback, but I tell you what, you can't put any kind of specs or measurements on that young man's heart, and he can throw the football. And this time he uses the hard count to his advantage, and he'll get the free 5, and that'll mean that they will move the chains here. So encroachment assessed to the mountain lines. That'll give Westwood a first down here, and they are now in the red zone.
Yeah, they would like to get something on the board here, and if you're Coach Kyle Enders, the defensive coordinator for Red Mountain, you want to protect that donut.
For all of your realty needs, try Monica Tapani from One Realty One Group. Homes, lives, and dreams. Monica Tapani. You can call Monica at 480-888-5497. Monica Tapani. 7:18 to go, 38 to nada. Mountain Lions show them blitz. They run it to the outside, and they string them out, and there's nowhere to go. There is no room to run on the outside unless your name is Manny Collier. And Vasquez and Kumi there. Looked like Kumi was the first guy there, but the guy that has not had a lot of success tonight finding any kind of room to run, it was Victor Sanchez. He's had a tough night. He's getting a lot of carries, but he just hasn't had the room to run.
Yeah, it's been tough sledding for Sanchez and all of the Warriors here tonight, but a nice job of keeping contained there. Number 80, Francis Kumi on the outside, and a great run stuff there for Red Mountain.
Arredondo lines up to the far side at cornerback. This is Collier. Gets the snap, runs left, lowers the pads, and he's inside the 5-yard line, close to the 2-yard line, and Arredondo, I believe, was over there to make the tackle. So the ball is going to be spotted on the, looks like the 2-yard line. It'll be a 3rd and goal from the 2. Clock moving with 6:07 in this one. Collier starting to wear down just a little bit. The slow jog back into the huddle. Inside 6 now and counting. 38-0 Red Mountain.
Can they hold them out here from the 2?
Mountain Lions trying to hold on and win and pick up their 8th win. This is Collier under center. And they move first on the right side. No call. Collier is very close to breaking the point of the goal line. The linesman has not put him up yet. And now they say it's a touchdown. So Manny Collier's into the end zone for a touchdown. His 7th rushing touchdown of the year for Manny Collier. And Westwood is on the scoreboard here with the 5:36 to go. And much to the chagrin of Coach Enders and his defensive line coach, Matt Kelly and company, Mike Peterson, Westwood earned that touchdown right there.
They did indeed. You could tell at the line of scrimmage that Collier was going to get the call. He was kind of leaning into it a little bit there and hoping that his lineman could get a push off the line of scrimmage and get him into the end zone, and they did just that.
With a good snap and a good hold, the 1-point conversion attempt is good. That is Mr. Gonzalez buries that one. 5:36 to go in the 4th quarter. It's now 38-7 Red Mountain. And, well, we saw on that drive Manny Collier do what Manny Collier does. He throws it, he runs it, and he's a leader out there, Manny Collier.
Yeah, he is a leader for the football team, directing the signals, does a great job at quarterback. He's able to do it from all kinds of spots on the football field, able to bring it backside. He rolls out, throws on the run, a very versatile player.
Shout out to Coach Avilas listening to tonight's game. Hopefully from the comforts of his own home, or perhaps he's in the stands.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
A lot of fans listen to the games in the stands at Red Mountain High School.
Use that YouTube app.
Eli Palmer wears number 53. Eli Palmer is wearing Dalton Jackson's old number. That's a pretty special number to wear. You talk about the hitman Coleman being proud to let Georgie Ramirez wear number 22.
And Georgie is doing that number justice, I tell you what.
Looks like we got a little activity here in the stands. A couple gals starting to get nasty with one another. You don't see haymakers from the ladies very often. Far sideline, it is Rivera still on his feet. 40, 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, house call. A kickoff return for Ramses Rivera. Unofficially, 90 yards.
Wow.
We'll double check that one.
The answer back from Red Mountain and Ramses Rivera.
The speed from Ramses Rivera, a.k.a. the Rocket, running down the football field, turning on the Jets, breaking tackles at the 40, and just turned on the afterburners and house one. It's now 44-7, pending the extra point of Connor Gardner.
Little skirmish in the stands here. Meanwhile, Ramses Rivera is streaking up the far side of the football field and taking it home.
You got near haymakers from the gals down here in the stands. Not just anybody, the gals are getting after it. And meanwhile, the Rocket launches one and makes a house call here at Westwood High at Brimhall Field. It's 45-7 after Connor Gardner tacks on the extra point. And we are now looking pretty good after we get the answer right there from Ramses Rivera.
Indeed, a solid 45-7 lead here for Red Mountain. You mentioned possibly a Queen Creek or maybe even a Mountain Point matchup. What do you think about both those teams? How would they match up against this Red Mountain squad?
You know, I'm like this with Mountain Point. They've got a dual threat quarterback in Nick Wallerstedt. They run it more than they pass it, and I think if you can make them one-dimensional, you could take away the run or at least slow the run down. They're beatable, but they have a lot of firepower, and they're good. I mean, they're deep. They got big, tough linemen, and they got good school guys, Jakem McKinney. So Mountain Point's going to be good. And for Queen Creek, they lost their starting quarterback, Devin Larson. That's a big blow for them, so they're working on quarterback number 2. They got Dylan Borhan, a bunch of other really good, talented backs. Queen Creek's not an easy place to play. Mountain Point's not an easy place to play. If it was one of those two, if I had my druthers, I'd say I'd like to play Queen Creek in that one just because of the quarterback situation. But I look for Mountain Point to maybe do some damage in this second season just with their ability and their playmakers. Taking it from his own 2. This is Harper Lloyd out to the 20, to the 25-yard line, and he's popped around the 27-yard line.
Appeared like the ball might have came out on that one there, but it looks like Westwood did ultimately come up with the football.
So on that return, it was a junior varsity player, if you will. 45-7 here from Westwood on their senior night. A long pregame ceremony to honor the Westwood Warriors seniors. Marching back onto the field is Manny Collier. This kid's worth the price of admission. You would think that somebody along the line is going to give this man a chance to play football at their institution, and that could be anywhere in the country.
Well, the kind of football that kid has put on tape even this year and the last couple of years that we've seen him play, very impressive.
So Collier's loose, sheds a tackle, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Foot race, and he's going to be knocked out of bounds there by Red Mountain. Number 16, Jackson Beecher, makes what looked to be a touchdown-saving tackle on Manny Collier.
Yeah, there he is again. The speed, he's able to get to the outside, and no one can catch him.
Unofficially, a gain of 28 yards, and Manny Collier is elusive, no doubt about it. He's just fun to watch. I'd like to see him throw the football 25, 30 times a game. He can really sling it, James.
Yeah, he reminds me a lot of like a Teddy Bridgewater type of player, able to move his feet really quick when he gets to the outside and still has a heck of an arm.
Good comp right there. Everybody wants to compare today's quarterbacks to Patrick Mahomes, and you're like, you just can't do that. That guy does a lot of things that nobody else can do. Under a heavy blitz, this is Collier, escapes the pressure, throws, and the ball's caught on the far sideline. Looks like it was Driggs again. And because he's so fleet of foot, Manny Collier buying time, extending plays with his legs, and then threw a dart to the wide receiver, Will Driggs. Little toe drag swag on the sideline, and he gets that one in bounds.
That speed from Collier once again. He wasn't even running full speed that time as he got to the edge, but everyone in trail, and he's able to complete the ball to Driggs and move the chains again.
Coach Enders playing with wholesale changes defensively for Red Mountain, but Westwood in back-to-back drives now on the march here. Perhaps too little, too late. 45-7, inside 5 to go. It's Collier out of the shotgun formation. He throws, the pass is complete in the flat, and then blown up immediately. Jared Wilson right there to make the tackle, and I didn't quite make out who had that reception. It looked like the tight end out of the flat somewhere there, or perhaps it was Josh Franco.
Yeah, I believe it might have been Josh Franco on that one, but a nice open field tackle there for 14, Jared Wilson. Secure it, wrapped up around the legs, and dropped him immediately.
That's Joss, J-O-S-S, Josh Franco.
Josh Franco.
So Jared Wilson, a nice job doing a little two-way action. Another selfless group, and the selfless player. This is Collier directing some traffic, has trips to the far side. Looking for Johnny, and Manny's going to go down, still on his feet, throws, and the ball is caught by Collier as he comes back and makes the catch at the 3-yard line. So I'm not sure what happened here, but it looked like Jared Butler thought that Collier was sacked.
He was. That's because he was. He was clearly down. I don't know how they did not see that.
And once again, with that scrambling ability, Manny Collier finds his brother, JC, and what a nice job by Johnny to come back for the football, and he split the two defenders and made the catch at the 3-yard line. Now we'll call it the 2.
I believe that was number 24, Daniel Butler, applying the pressure from his cornerback position, and he got in there and forced the issue with Collier, and I believe he sacked him.
It was definitely one of the Butlers, no doubt about it. Those Butler boys are good. This is Collier from the Wildcat with all kinds of time at the 10. Surveys, looks, throws, back of the end zone, ball's dropped. Boy, Payne had a chance at it, and there was nobody near him at all. All he had to do was just catch the football, and it looked like Collier with a little mustard on that pass, though. That one had some velo on it, didn't it?
Yeah, indeed. He was trailing coming into the near side of the field, looking down the whole time. He found his man in the back of the end zone, tried to fit it in the window there, but unfortunately that receiver unable to haul it in.
I don't quite recall a player that has the ability that Collier does to do that start and stop motion. He's, again, so silky, smooth. You know, I tell you what, Spencer Rattler comes to mind. He's silky like that. Not the size, but in a similar game, but just that fluidity that he plays with. They run it up the middle, trying for the tailback Sanchez, and Sanchez is going to break the plane on the goal line, and he's going to score a touchdown. So second touchdown of the night for Westwood. This time it's the tailback Victor Sanchez. And for Sanchez, that is his third rushing touchdown of the year. And it's now 45-13. The offensive coaches have already come down from upstairs here. So from a Red Mountain perspective, this one is in the old deep freeze.
Yeah, this one's just about over, but Westwood not going away quietly here. They're trying to get some points on the board, and a respectable fourth quarter performance here for the Westwood Warriors.
So Collier with the hole, the good snap, and Gonzalez drills this one. 3:13 to go, fourth quarter. It's now 45-14. Mount Lions. Go back to your initial question about the postseason and the playoffs. The one thing that I would wish for the most as a fan of Red Mountain football is that they're just in the opposite bracket of the Chandler Wolves. And whatever happens, whoever they play, we'll gladly make the trek out there. We'll call the game. We'll have a great time doing it. We'll be wishing well for the Red Mountain Lions. And I think we like the Mountain Lions and Coach Peterson. They plan on 14 games. We plan on 14 games. The idea for us is to be with this group the entire leg. And hopefully
Indeed.
We'll be working at Sun Devil Stadium and calling this game for Red Mountain TV. Obviously, we know the game will be on Fox and streamed on the RMHS Sports Network, but we're hoping that we're along for the ride with you, and we continue this journey of calling Red Mountain football. Because this football team is ascending at the right time of the year. And there's Lorenzo Bowers on special teams. We got to see Lobo and a great conversation with Lobo on senior night. Learned an awful lot about that young man last week.
Indeed, yeah, great talking with him and getting a little of his perspective on the season.
There's an onside kick, and how about Zach Molina just going up for the loose football and grabbing the rock, securing it, and Red Mountain's going to get the football at the 50-yard line with 3:11 to go, and they are in command here. They will finish the season 8-2. They'll finish the campaign in the East Valley region at 5-0. And as we mentioned a couple times here on the broadcast tonight, we will wait and see what happens at Famous Dave's tomorrow for the selection show. And it should be interesting.
Well, rest assured, I will let you know as soon as I hear where we'll be next Friday night.
There will be some interesting things that develop, and with those quarterbacks going down, no Spencer Rattler and no Devin Larson, that'll change things just a little bit in the 6A conference. Let's see if Strail takes the snaps here. He does, and right away, there's a procedure penalty. So new lineman, new quarterback. The cadence is different.
For all of you out in the listening audience tonight, you can watch or listen to tomorrow's bracket release. It's going to begin at 7 a.m. They're going to do 2 hours. The regular 1580 The Fanatic show will be coming at you from Famous Dave's. And then from 9 to 11 will actually be the bracket release. So make sure you're tuned in by 9 a.m., either live streaming on azpreps365.com or on 1580 The Fanatic.
JP, you just text me and tell me where and when, all right?
I got you.
Strail back to throw to the air. The pass is complete to the tight end. I want to say that's Giraldi, but we'll wait and see who it is. It's not Giraldi. Number 40 on the receiving end of that one. That would be Robert Talamontes. Robert Talamontes, 6-foot sophomore. So Mike Peterson unveiling a lot of youth here in this one, and you can do that when you lead it 45-0.
The big fullback Talamontes, nice to see him in the football game.
It is 45-14, but when Coach Peterson started to go to the bench, it was 45-0. Clock moving, 2:29 to go. Moving right to left is the Red Mountain offense. Strail under center, under pressure, and he wants to throw the football. He's going to be thrown down and sacked. So Garrett Strail gets sacked, and Garrett Strail was about ready to take on the Westwood defensive back. That was 33, Junior Sanasi. Sanasi ragdolled Garrett Strail, and Garrett Strail would have nothing to do with it. I think Strail threw a punch, and we'll find out if someone got tossed here, but another unsportsmanlike penalty, a dead ball foul against Westwood. And
yeah.
James, did it look like that Strail threw a punch there at some point?
Well,
at least a stiff arm.
So Nasi was up in his mug there for a minute, and he was ready to retaliate. He wasn't going to get pushed around, thrown around like that, but ultimately Sanasi, first of all, he's celebrating when he's down 45-14. That's the first no-no.
Yeah, and he did it over him, too.
Right.
You stand over him, and that's
taunting is what they call it.
That's a taunt, yeah. And usually you don't do that when you're down 45-14. Clock moving. Strail back to throw. Wants to fire over the middle. The ball is incomplete. Looking for Connor Gardner right there. So everybody gets a chance to play tonight. And this is, in a sense, it's tough, but as Coach Peterson will tell us, all these other kids practice too.
That's right.
And so they want a chance to play ball. And the idea, if you're Westwood, is you can stop them. That's what you can do. You can stop them.
That's right. A little extra muster on that one there from Strail after that last play. He was a little bit fired up on that one.
Special thank you to Parker & Sons. Call 602-2REPAIR, Parker & Sons. And you can also go to their website, parkerandsons.com. Proud sponsors of Red Mountain football. $1:46 to go, 45-14. It's all Red Mountain. And, yeah, the chippiness has come into play here, but this game has been decided long ago. Here's Gardner. I know what you were thinking, James. Good time for a fake. This is Collier to the 30, 40, 50.
Oh, boy.
With blockers in front. 30 makes a move, still on his feet to the 20, and he's going to be dragged down there by Hiram Boren. Another great special teams tackle made by Hiram Boren. Another touchdown saving tackle by Hiram Boren. And Manny Collier, say what you want, he's a playmaker, and he's a joy to watch.
Yeah, he's very fun to watch. A nice return there in the special teams game for Manny Collier, and he does it all for the Warriors. What can you say?
And as we talked about on the last punt, I thought he left one on the field. He had a chance to catch that one in motion, did the fair catch. Very similar here, caught it on the run, and when you get Manny Collier an advantage like that, it looked like he was just shot out of a cannon. Manny Collier with a big return.
So the 2s and 3s in right now for Red Mountain's defense. We'll see if they can put the kibosh on this drive for Westwood.
Unofficially, 65-yard return for Collier. There's the tailback. He's loose into the secondary, and Derek Horn runs into that secondary, and he runs into Jackson Beecher. Jackson Beecher, a nice special teams job, a nice tackle by him. The execution, that was a textbook tackle there by Jackson Beecher. 6'2", 170, got low and took on that pad level of the tailback, Derek Horn. And quite frankly, for Derek Horn, that's his best run of the night.
Yeah, credit to Beecher on that one there. He stood in, and that was a big collision there in the middle of the field.
So this is Stainer at quarterback. And now Coach Ide will take a timeout. And we'll take a timeout with him. You're watching Red Mountain football on Red Mountain TV. Back after this brief timeout.
A proud sponsor of your Phoenix Suns and Arizona Coyotes.
Parker & Sons.
A partner with your Arizona Diamondbacks and contributor to the D-Backs Give Back Foundation.
Parker & Sons.
A proud sponsor, donator, and volunteer for Arizona's Special Olympics.
Parker & Sons.
Parker is one of the most community-driven companies in Phoenix. A local family-operated company with award-winning installations and service for all your AC, plumbing, electrical, or water softener needs. Call 602-2-REPAIR. That's 602, 2, REPAIR for Parker & Sons.
3rd and 7 from the 20-yard line. Strail to the air. He goes over the middle, and it's we welcome you back to Brimhall Field on the campus of Westwood High. Kevin Derryberry alongside James Poovey. 45-14. So Westwood knocking on the door again. Their 3rd consecutive drive. Well, they have reached the red zone. They hadn't reached the red zone at all until the last 3 drives. This is Stainer under pressure. He throws for the end zone. The ball is caught in the corner of the end zone. That's a touchdown, and that is Payne. Christian Payne on the receiving end of that one. And credit the cornerback, a nice throw there by Jeremiah Stainer. And Stainer with a touchdown connection in the corner of the end zone, and the Westwood faithful are having a grand time right now.
Yeah, that was a heck of a reception there that time from Christian Payne. He elevated, high pointed that football right on the sideline at the corner of the end zone and was able to get his toe down for the 6.
They go for 2. Collier to the end zone, and the ball is caught for the 2-point conversion. Making the reception on the end of that one was their tailback, Harper Lloyd. Actually, that's their tight end, wearing a tailback number, Harper Lloyd, 6', 190. Looked like a very similar play. You get Collier out on the edge there, and he can throw the football as well as anybody on the run.
Yeah, simple flood concept on that one there. Got everybody going to the right-hand side, and pick your poison. One of those guys is going to come open, and that time it was number 22, Harper Lloyd, for the 2-point conversion.
So it's now 45-22. And for Westwood, they've scored 22 unanswered points here. Red Mountain took apart Westwood 2 years ago, 61-21. Not quite a drubbing like that tonight, but 45-22 nonetheless, pretty good. Red Mountain will be 17-11 against Westwood with a victory here tonight. And the Mountain Lions will have won their 10th consecutive game against the Westwood Warriors. So we'll pause the action here, at least for the final home game for Westwood. The fans here have been treated to some fun here. And, heck, I'd buy a season ticket to watch Manny Collier play. I really would.
No doubt. He's electric.
They onside it here, and this is Molina again. Molina on his feet, 50, 40 with blockers, 30, 20, angles to the sideline, 10, 5, and he lunges into the end zone. And I don't think they're going to give him the touchdown. They're going to say he stepped out on the 4-yard line. But Zach Molina did not want to be denied on that one, and they're still looking for the call. But they're going to spot the ball around the 2-yard line.
I don't think the officials were able to get down there fast enough.
I don't disagree, JP. They've done a pretty good job keeping order here in this one. But inside a minute now, it'll be interesting to see what Red Mountain elects to do here. Do they try to punch it in? Got to get some rest at night, bud.
You're going to babysit for us. I'm going to get a lot of rest this weekend. That's great.
Ooh, I don't know what's going on. You want to tell me what's going on? What's going on at Chavez Ravine in Los Angeles?
What do we got? Drum roll, please.
We go to the 11th?
Wow.
Wow. You talk about a
12th,
pitcher's
it looks
duel.
like.
My goodness. This is Strell to T-Mac, and he's up, and he somersaults into the end zone for a touchdown. Let's double check that. That is indeed Ty McElroy for the Red Mountain touchdown. How about it? Good to see that young man back on the field, and did it with style with a somersault going in as you break the plane of the goal line.
Indeed, a massive humanity down there at the goal line for Red Mountain, and Ty McElroy elevates and flips himself over the top. A full somersault in for 6 points, and they extend the lead here 51-22. 51 ticks on the clock.
Connor Gardner on again for the extra point. And that answers my question whether or not Mike Peterson would try to punch another one in. And I know they like 40s, but I think they like 50 also. Extra point by Gardner is right in between the uprights. Attack on PAT, it's 52-22. Up by 30 with 51.5 seconds to go. And, James, this has been a pretty good game for Red Mountain. They're taking care of business tonight.
Indeed, they are. Westwood has not gone away quietly, but luckily for Red Mountain, they were able to establish the lead early, and they have not looked back the entire game. A solid performance for them in all 3 phases here tonight.
Really cool to see Ty McElroy get in the end zone. That's his 2nd touchdown of the year for T-Mac. And you get Deontay Elliott back next week, and your group in that running back room is really, really strong. You got some really polished, good physical football players in that group out there.
Indeed, that's 4 solid ball carriers right there that could tote the rock at any given moment for this football team, and that huge amount of depth is going to be very valuable into the postseason.
James, you get the feeling that our broadcast team is ready to rock here tonight? I feel like these guys are lurching in behind us, and they're ready to break down the camp here and get on out of here.
Sure seems that way. It is a road game, and everybody likes to get going as quick as they can.
And on the return for Westwood to the near side, they run right into Jackson Beecher. Jared Wilson also down there, and Jared Butler. So a lot of the youth here for Red Mountain football getting it done on the gridiron tonight. 30-point advantage, and little Freddie Mercury here, the sweet sounds of Queen.
Yeah, that Bohemian Rhapsody movie starts next Friday night. That's going to be a great one.
That should be a good film. Might check that out.
Definitely.
Bohemian Rhapsody. Freddie Mercury, a talent, no doubt about it. I didn't think they were going to do another one bites the dust here.
We are the champions, yeah.
We are the champions either. I thought the choice of song right there, lyrically speaking, was not really accurate.
Sure.
Trailing by 30. Clock rolling. Collier gives it up. Gives it up to that man who just scored the touchdown. That's Derek Horn. If I'm Coach Hyde, well, this is the final game of the year. I'd had enough of Manny Collier. But for Manny Collier, for the senior, his career more than likely will come to an end. I don't see how Westwood gets in at 5-5. But stranger things have happened as the final 17 seconds tick off the scoreboard here at Brimhall Field. This is Collier back to throw. There's no quit in this group. Collier under pressure from the 20, and he throws, and he is tackled as he throws it. The ball is going to be picked off on the near sideline by Ramses Rivera, and Ramses has done a little bit of everything here tonight. Returned a kick, had an interception, scored a touchdown, and how about the rocket? Have a night, young man. He's launched off tonight. He is up there having himself a ball game.
Yeah, great game here for tonight for Ramses Rivera. Nice to see him coming on as we near the postseason stretch, and he's going to be a valuable cog in the wheel as well for these Mountain Lions.
Two-tenths of a second. Again, you have to applaud the clock operator here at Westwood High. A magnificent job of running the clock, but I would have let those 2/10 run right off. But that's how I run the clock. So first-team All-Region player Manny Collier was a delight to see tonight. What a talent he is, and this one's gone final here from Brimhall Field on the campus of Westwood High. Well, for whatever reason, they're going to delay it, and now they finally take the snap. That was Garrett Strail. This game had a little bit of everything tonight, James.
Indeed, it did. A lot of electric performances, a couple of nice kick returns, shots down the field, excellent defensive play. Just a great ball game, and it was fun to be a part of it. I can't believe it's the end of the regular season.
The end of the regular season. Coming into the night, Red Mountain had outscored the opposition 293-149, and they put a thumping on Westwood here. They outscored the opposition tonight by 30. They win it 52-22. They're 8-2, and they finished 5-0 in the region, and they're now 10-0 in the East Valley region in the last 2 years.
And we're going to wait to see where they end up tomorrow and what road they will have in front of them on their way to that state championship.
For Jeremy Knutson and my broadcast partner, James Poovey, I'm Kevin Derryberry. Our final score here tonight, where Red Mountain takes care of business on the road. They win it by 30. They win it 52-22. And some individual performances tonight. Darren Smith, another strong outing for him, 3 touchdowns. A lot of individual performances really to recognize, James, but Ramses Rivera, a 33-yard touchdown catch in the end zone, an over-the-shoulder catch, an interception. He was all over the field tonight. Nice to see Ramses Rivera making a solid contribution.
Yeah, he was very strong in the first few games of the campaign, and he dwindled a little bit there toward the midway point, but nice to see him back in stride here for Red Mountain, and he will prove very valuable into the postseason.
Georgie Ramirez, Zach Molina, the list goes on and on. Ty McElroy gets into the end zone tonight in grand fashion. A little style and profiling for T-Mac as he scores the touchdown, his second of the year. Overall, just a great win. And you mentioned this a lot. All 3 phases, James, they took care of business. Offense, defense, and special teams. Red Mountain punched the ticket tonight.
They did indeed. They're playing well in all 3 phases of the game, and you need that, especially if you want to go far into the playoffs. And that special teams play for them has been solid all season long.
Our final score from Westwood, Red Mountain 52, Westwood 22. For James Poovey, I'm Kevin Derryberry. Good night from Westwood High, and we'll check in with you next week. It's the second season. The postseason begins next Friday night, and you can watch the game on Red Mountain TV. Good night from Westwood High.